4 getting absolutely muscled there. At turn 1, that was an absolute disaster.
Oh, he's spun!
Oh no! That's massive for Adam!
All over the rear bumper of Spin, mate. These guys are hitting each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
G pulls out to the outside. Here we go again.
AEST there, he's going to go for a move here. The 2 Ferraris in front of him.
G went wide. G's in
Oh!
good contact.
Oh, massive contact there.
This is going to be an incredible finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into
Oh.
turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy with Kung Fu on the way in. He tries to redress and gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he chucks it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR!
Hello everybody, welcome back to Sector 1. We're here tonight for round number 9 of the World Sector 1 World Tour here at Road Atlanta. It's of course a sprint round, so we get double the racing action, 4 races, 4 potential winners in this one, and yeah, the championship's just facing up massively. Of course, our Group A week here on the Sector 1 channel. Divisions 1 and 3, it's going to be a massive week of racing, and I mean, Road Atlanta, it's got the perfect layout for competitive racing. Lots of heavy braking zones and plenty of overtaking opportunities. With the sprint format, it's going to be a hot one. My name is Lenocis, and joining me in the commentary box, as per usual, CGK, getting accustomed in here in the commentary box, aren't we?
We sure are, man. It's getting very cozy, and despite the budget increase, the commentary box continues. The walls continue to close in a little bit. Not quite sure what that's about, Lenocis, but nonetheless, good to be back in the comms box again tonight for Div 3.
Thank you for joining me here. As I think these guys, they're pretty much about to get underway with their qualifying soon, but we'll just have a quick look at how the the track map is for tonight. It is, of course, 4.088 kilometers, 12 turns here at Road Atlanta. It's a 10-minute qualifying session for both of our divisions into 2 20-minute back-to-back races. The first one being little under a third points, with points only going to the top 8. The second race being the full points race, which is where you need to make it all count. That's where the big points come out. Fastest laps for both races, and that's how the format of racing will be tonight. And I'll just have a look at our Division 3 points schedule. At the moment, it's looking like this. A Mr. Bumcrack for Kraken Esports, heading the charge of his team, leading his championship with the Toyota manufacturer on 264 points. He's got a 25-point gap to Boybegum, almost a race win in hand over the CP charging McLaren. Freelix in P3 in the overall standings for Respawn Esports. He was leading the championship a little earlier in the season, but now has a massive title charge to try and get himself back into contention. Budsy for Icer Esports in 4th, Guru for Dadson in 5th, Stranger in 6th for Doghouse, Black Project in 7th for Blacklight, Carbon Boy in 8th for Obsession, Shizer in 9th for Brocchio 5 Sim Racing, Daz in P10 for Deeds, Kieran DeLuce in 11th for Lightning, Rex 12th for Red Mist, Sizzling Sausage in 13th for Black Rose, Prua in 14th for Obsession. Now, something to note there is Rex, I believe last round he wasn't here as well, as he has had to step away from the series, and he's been replaced by, I believe it's, who is it? It's, is it Levenspiel? No. Or is it Bol? Wait, yeah. Wait, no.
I think it might be Levenspiel, yeah.
Levenspiel, yes. I believe. Wait, okay. I'm just trying to think. Who's the Div 2 driver that was here last week?
Oh, that
The
was
new
Tim
one.
Durags. That's
Tim
my new
Durags, that's it.
teammate.
Levingspiel and Tim Durags. So Levingspiel is the Div 3 one. He's here tonight at Road Atlanta. So he's had a tough start to Sector 1 here. He had to jump straight into the car for the very wet Spa Enduro, and now he's facing the grueling task that is 40 minutes of flat-out running here at Road Atlanta. So interesting to see how he copes with that on his second round in Sector 1. So I don't think we keep these guys waiting any longer. How about we head straight into our qualifying session, CGK?
Yep, it's time to hit that big button. I'm not even going to give it a colour now, given all the banter that's going on about it. But yeah, time to get out on track, get our 10 minutes of qualifying underway. Of course, we've got 2 races today, 20 minutes on each of them. 2 races, of course, separated. They're not the same race. It's not just 40 minutes here. We've got 2 20-minute races, and the grid for race 2 is going to be set by the results in race 1. So we'll have a little bit of a break between race 1 and race 2 as we set the grid for that. But to set the grid for race 1, it is going to be qualifying for 10 minutes here. They're all out in the Group 4 cars today, on the circuit at the minute. And I don't know about you, Lenocis, but I'm smelling a fast Supra here today.
Yeah, we have a little bit earlier. We didn't have quite a lot of Supras in the lobby. I think we only had 1 up until the final test start there, but we have a couple more in the lobby now. I think just a couple, to be precise, as we have a couple of people. Oh no, I think we have 3 potentially. We'll see when we go through the track.
Yeah.
So Bumcrack, no, actually, Daz is the one leading the way for Deeds in his 86, which historically throughout this season hasn't been the best package, but around Road Atlanta, it really suits its strengths as a car, and we should see the 86s towards the front of the pack.
Felix and Gurr have both picked up a penalty on their outlap, sadly.
Oh, dear.
So Felix has got himself a 3-second penalty. That's going to compromise him quite a bit, as 4 cars will come flying past him, including that of Carbon Boy, who will be in the comms box a little bit later on. And Gurr manages to hold on to that P2 position at the moment on track, and that'll be okay. Won't have compromised him too much for the start of his hot lap. So Daz, as you said, will lead us around for the first hot lap here. They're probably going to get somewhere in the range of 7 or 6 or 7, depends if they come to the pits, laps here today in qualifying. So they're going to have to push it to the absolute limit, because these Group 4 cars, they don't like to turn in, and Atlanta can really punish you for that.
I've been hearing a lot of whispers of a no-stop potentially on the cards for a lot of cars here tonight, and the pit lane's supposed to be very, very long transit, so these guys wanting to take the minimum amount of stops. From what I hear, the Alfa Romeo 100% can do the no-stop, no worries at all, but the other cars, a lot of other cars, they're going to be really struggling on those tyres, wearing them away, particularly on that left-hand side. So we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out in the qualifying session, and in particularly the race, because in qualifying, we've been seeing it a few times. Not necessarily your tyres start to, you might not need a second set of tyres in the qualifying session. It's only a 10-minute session, which is about half of one of these sprint races, and with soft tyres only being used, by that time, that's about where they're up to temperature. So just depends who takes the gamble on that extra set of tyres. And of course, the obvious being that you're not going to be out on track for that period that you would be in the pits, so you're burning more fuel, your car's lighter. It just seems like more of an advantage at that point, but Daz sets the first time, Gurr immediately improves, Killer goes quicker. And next across the line will be Shizer. No, Shizer is way down the order for some reason. Timing charts. Felix to the top of the times, Black Project P2. And Carbon Boy sets a lap time, not good enough for the top 8 at the moment. Levingspiel straight into P5 with a good lap there in his Supra, which I should say, there's actually 4 Supras. Yes.
See, I had the feeling there was a few Supras on there. I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% blind yet, but yeah, a few Supras out there to grace us on the track. You're right about the Alfa Romeo. I don't want to make a couple of points about that, because the Alfa Romeo consistently over the last 8 rounds, of course we're in round 9 today, especially at Spa, really proved its worth in terms of conserving tyres and fuel, and that's part of some of the strategy that the guys, the teams and the drivers that are running.
Oh, Felix! Oh dear! Woo, what a save by Freelix. He made a massive oversteer coming out at the top of the track onto the back straight, but managed to catch it, keep it out of the wall. Holy moly, that was a close call for the Respawn Esports car.
Lucky
Sorry to
man.
interrupt you there, CGK.
No, that's quite all right. We want to see the action on track, and I'm just seeing it on the replay now. Yeah, that was quite the moment there for that man, the Respawn Esports driver. But yeah, the Alpha's been showing that it's strong on tyres and fuel. That will play to its advantage big time here today, and yeah, we'll be keeping a close eye on the Alpha drivers. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. The car is not going to have the ultimate pace, maybe. Not 100% sure, but it'll be tricky. And we've got a couple of drivers coming into the pits already to switch out those tyres. So number 1 and the number 7 there will be looking to come in. That's position 1, position 7. That's Freelix and Gurr.
So second time round, Shizer and Carbon Boy improved their lap times. Shizer to P4, Carbon Boy slots himself into the top 8 with his lap time at 25.4. So yeah, a couple of people taking the gamble on that extra set of tyres quite, I was going to say quite early into the session. I mean,
halfway through?
Halfway through, yeah.
Yeah, it goes quickly,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I don't know how worth it it's going to be. It's going to be interesting. I'm keeping a close eye on as many people as I can in terms of their tyre life and see how far they can get. If they do go for 10 minutes here, it'll be a very good indicator as to how they're going to operate in the race. Those obviously coming into the pits for fresh tyres, just looking to optimise their qualifying laps more so than anything at this stage. And Daz is about to come around at the last part of the line, and so is Freelix, so more laps to be set in just a moment.
Absolutely. As Daz does improve to P3 with that lap. Great lap from the Deeds driver.
These 24 lap times in the 24 seconds here are about spot on. I think I was seeing some very low 24s, probably getting very close to jumping into the 23s as well at this track. Only 0.006 of a second splitting Daz and Carbon Boy. He's just gone up ahead, taking that P3 slot. And just looking at both their tyres, well, there's a bit of a difference between where. I'll keep all that little bit of information separate. By the way, Carbon Boy is only 0.004 of a second behind Black Project as well. Freelix is at to a point 0.3 of a gap at the front, so he's absolutely flying with the 24.421.
Starting his third flying lap now is Freelix as he approaches the second complex of corners. Tight and technical middle sector at this track here as he heads down S's section, nailing those apexes. Beautiful control of the car. Oh, a little bit wide through there. That might come with an invoice from the stewards. We'll see what the penalty system says about that as he heads down towards the square sector as he is hit with a half-second penalty, pretty much destroying this lap. But good news is 3 minutes remaining in the session, so he should still be able to have another crack. Oh, Freelix really struggling at that turn 9 there.
And he's got fresh tyres on. I mean, that's one way to heat up the tyres, that's for sure. So his next lap could be an absolute flyer, but yeah, these are fresh tyres he's on, serves the penalty. So yeah, he's got a bit of work to do there, but he's sitting comfortably in pole position at the moment, 0.3 a second, and then the 4 behind him, P2, 3, 4, 5, all in the pits now. So everyone has decided, hey, look, let's go out. We tried to get the banker in. We did well. Let's go and put a fresh set of tyres on and absolutely send it and see what happens. And that seems to be what the majority of the field is feeling. I think we've only got 2 or 3 people now who are still out on their original set of tyres. Whether or not that'll be to their advantage, I don't know at this stage. I don't think there's a significant margin in the amount of tyre you get. Freelix, yeah, gets a little bit blocked there, but
he just lost it! Oh dear! Oh, what a save! I mean, Freelix, he's almost losing it through every corner, but how is he not dying through these corners? Massive car control from Freelix here.
Respawn
Esports car. Yeah.
Respawn, yeah, it's just respawning back on track instantly. Gets a 0.5 second penalty for his troubles though. So a little bit of an invoice there from the in-game system, but he'll recover from that. That won't be a problem for him. He's got time, I think, to get round for another lap after this. And he will have one more chance. The question is, does he get out of the way and get some clean air? Yes, let's Shizer through. Says, yep, my bad, got to serve the penalty, and then I'll go for another flyer.
Bombcrack slots himself into provisional front row with a 24.5. As somebody's off in the weeds, on the front straight. Who is that? Oh, that's Stranger. It's having massive issues, potentially wheel issues, I would assume, as there is a Supra coming off Living Spiel, but, oh my goodness.
Oh, please.
Oh,
Co-Brown! Co-Brown! We've had a Co-Brown.
Yeah, I think Stranger might be suffering from some wheel troubles at the moment, so we'll let him be, see what happens, but on my screen, it looked as though Levenspiel, I think he hit one of the boards, and Gran Turismo Physics, it launched him directly vertically into the air, and it was a bit of a funny sight.
I've just seen that. It's just gone absolutely flying. Welcome to the Super Space Program. Boy, they're going to send astronauts into space now. Yeah, crikey, that was very close to being quite a big incident. Sort of just sitting on top of the racing line a little bit there, unfortunately. But managed to get away quite quickly. I'm just watching some of the times down the grid, and we've got a lot of people going for it. Oh, is that bum crack with a penalty?
Sizzling Sausage ended up off the track there. I think, yeah, Sizzling Sausage. I'm not too sure what's happened there. We might have a look on the Next Level Racing Action replay at that one. As he came through the S's, he was very far offline at the bottom of the S's, and then sort of slingshotted him out and very wide into the gravel there. So
turn 5 takes another victor, because that will be the trouble corner. If you're going to get penalties, it's probably going to be at turn 5, easiest place to do it, and you want to be holding a lot of speed for that very tricky left-hand corner.
As Living Spiel promotes himself into P10, the first of the finishers here, and it will be Daz next, closely followed by Gur. Doesn't improve. Gur doesn't improve either, as Carbon Boy is next. Doesn't improve. Nobody improving at the moment. As we try to find who'll be next, it's going to be Black Project. Doesn't improve. Nobody's improving. That's very interesting at this stage.
Yeah, see, the tyres do get into a particular window you were mentioning, or subtly hinting at it early on. But once they get down to sort of 80% wear, I know this sounds weird, but it's almost like an 80-20 rule that's applied. And you can somehow find just a little bit more slip angle. I mean, one of those tricky things here at the circuit in Atlanta is not to get the turn in on the car. Sometimes it's easier to do that when you've got a little bit less grip, as opposed to fresh tyres.
Stranger will cross the line, minute off the pace with that one, so that concludes our qualifying session.
Yeah, and a good one it was. I'm just going to do some race director things in the background, and then I'll be back with you in a moment for the race start.
Thank you, but wow, what a qualifying session that was. I mean, we'll just have a look at the official results for that one. And as it stands, Freelix will take pole position and the Gokanga fastest lap with a 1:24.421 bum crack alongside on the front row. Black Project takes P3 in the Ferrari. Carbon Boy comes home in the qualifying. Will start on the second row of the grid alongside Black Project. Daz in P5, Shizer P6, Stranger in the Alpha in P7, Kellen Loose in 8th. We have the Mercedes of Gur in 9th, Living Spiel 10th, and Sizzling Sausage, the Black Rose Racing Sylvia, will start the race in from the back. But we'll just have a look at who's in chat at the moment. Hello to Robert Rice, to Brev, Karen Unleashed, Boggs, Chris, VF, we have Blind Man, Tim, and Pro is in chat as well, and we have Zuzu in chat as well. Hello everybody, happy Father's Day to everybody out there, and thanks for joining us here for some Sector 1 sim racing action, as we should be getting ready to start our first 20-minute race as soon as Crazy Good Kung Fu hits that big red button.
Are indeed ready to go, so the cars are out on track, and the race director, myself, has clicked the big button. We'll be going on track momentarily. So, yeah, here we go, round 9 for Division 3, and yeah, looking forward to this double sprint race today. It's going to be great.
As the cars are lined up on track and waiting, you can hear the revs rising. These guys wanting to get rid of as much fuel as possible, make their cars as light as possible, as there are 5 lights. They are out and racing here at Road Atlanta for Group A Division 3. It looks like Felix gets off to a good start ahead of Bumcrack. The Alfa Romeo in the background. Stranger gets off to a good start, getting ahead of Carbon Boy. Absolutely monstered off the line. Let's see if everybody makes it through turn 1 cleanly. It seems as though they do, as all 11 cars head towards turn 2.
Good start. Remember, the Alpha of the Stranger absolutely took off from the line, and I think he's gained a couple of positions already just off the start line. A few in the background, starting to get a little bit of a gap in there, but the big one at the moment is Felix, who's out to a 0.7 second lead already. Black Project and Bumcrack having a little bit of a fight already for P2. The Ferrari of Black Project not letting the Supra in front of him get away at this stage. Side by side is Carbon Boy and Daz, and Daz is lost out in that corner. Gurr takes a little bit of a look, but can't find any room through the outside of turn 7.
As they barrel down past turn 7 towards the chicane of turn 9. Let's see if any moves are made. We see Gurr showing his nose on the 86 of Shiza, which Gurr, he's lost the position there to Shiza in the background, trying to pressure Daz. But looks like Shiza's not quite close enough at this stage. Looking back up front to Bumcrack, Felix and Black Project. Felix has got 6/10 to the good now.
Yeah, he's starting to pull out a little bit of a gap away and found a good exit on the end of the circuit in the 10-11 corners at the end. But has continued to find a bit of pace out there. Really, really good start from him. He wanted to secure a good little gap before the race gets anywhere close to tyre degradation area. Carbon Boy and Shiza and all having a big, big fight down the grid as well, which is great to see. 5 cars in a row, followed by 3 more. The gaps have actually closed up already, which is fantastic to see. And Black Project was nearly on the back of Bumcrack to make a move as well.
Absolutely. As these guys, I mean, Black Project must have made a mistake as he's dropped 1.3 seconds off the back of Bumcrack. So not too sure what's happened there to the Black Light Ammo Ferrari, but yeah, he's sort of falling into the clutches of Stranger here in the Alfa Romeo, who is a little bit under threat from Carbon Boy. Speaking of under threat, just behind Carbon Boy, you see Daz and Shiza, who are bumper to bumper. We might see a move from Shiza here down into the chicane. And he does pull out on Daz. Same machinery, same straight line speed. The slipstream might be enough. Tries around the outside, does Shiza. Can't quite get the move done. Daz slips on through. Great stuff from Daz there.
Good defensive move there from Daz. Yeah, holds on to P6. Does very, very well. Shiza was looking pretty fast and had the overspeed as well, but as you said, same machinery. So not much you can do once you pull out into that barrier of A's. Going for it again. Tucks back in though for turn 1. Not having any of that at this stage. Daz is having to drive very defensively. He's changing his lines completely, sweeping in front of Shiza as much as he possibly can, and holding on. Shiza's getting a compromised line though. It's bringing Gurr into play.
This is some good racing by the 8.6s here at the start of the race. Lap 3 at the moment. As we'll have a look at the Next Level Racing action replay at that start, at the race start. We see riding on board with Daz through turn 1 cleanly. It seems as though they nice and clean start as all 11 cars head
single file for the most part
through the first few corners. Very good racing, great race car from everybody involved in that race start there.
So just looking around the timing boards a little bit here, back towards the back of the field in 10th position at the moment. Sizzle and Saucer just picked himself up a 1-second penalty. He's got Levenspiel behind him about 0.4 of a second at the back of the grid. But at the moment, your top 3 still remains. There's a big move there. Oh, that was Sizzle and Saucer, no, serving his penalty. Levenspiel goes through for P10. Felix at the top has got a 0.6 of a second gap. Bad exit out of the last corner though. Bumcrack still not giving him an inch, not letting him run away with this at this stage. It was looking like for a second Felix was going to disappear into the future, disappear into the sunset at Atlanta. He was going to do, but no, Bumcrack is doing very well in that super bit of machinery. Ironically, also a Supra, bit of a Freudian slip there, but doing well to hold on and 0.7 the gap as well back to Black Project. The Stranger's got a bit of work to do though. Carbon Boy's right on the back of him.
Carbon Boy pressuring Stranger as they head through the S's down towards the southern point of the circuit. Might be able to chuck it down the inside into turn 6. Let's see what Carbon Boy does. Does he pull out? He does! Dives down the inside, but has to back out, which is probably the wise thing to do because that puts him under pressure from Daz, who's right up under the bumper, and right behind Daz is Shizer, and then right behind Shizer is Gur. We have a nice battle pack forming here.
Yep, that's right. It's always at the back that we get some chaos going on. Absolutely love to see it. And it's not really chaos. It's organized chaos. It's orchestrated chaos. It's beautiful. It's car racing. That's what we're here to see. So, no, brilliant battle there. Carbon Boy, that was quite an interesting and very, very late pull out of the slipstream. Tried to get in the corner, but the Alpha seems to be good on its brakes here as well. I'm not sure if the Super, I'm not super familiar with it. But I'm not sure if it needs to brake a little bit later, a little bit earlier than the Alpha, but the Alpha being an MR car, it's going to be very stable, usually into the corners and through the corners, and he seems to be holding up a little speed there. Shizer going for a move on
Chucks
Daz.
Down the inside. Looks like Daz ran a little bit wide, hoping that a gap opened up on Carbon Boy. It didn't, but that put him under a lot of pressure from Shizer, which Daz needs to be very careful. He doesn't start walking backwards here. Gur waiting in the wings that could potentially stick one on Daz.
Yeah, it was definitely Daz running wide there, no doubt about it at all. He had a bit of a run.
Oh, tire
previously.
smoke, tire squeals in the background. Who was that? Was that Killer on the loose potentially? I have a feeling it was, but he holds onto his position for now.
He does, but now the Stranger has lost the position to Carbon Boy. You've got a great exit out of turn 5. Now going defensive on the straight, doesn't want that Alpha anywhere near his slipstream. By the way, Black Project and Bumcrack, things are getting a bit closer. Freelix out to a 1 second gap at the top. 0.2 of a second only between Bumcrack and Black Project now.
Shizer looking for a move around the outside of the Stranger, but it looks like he's going to get it done. He does. Breezes past the Stranger, and now Daz chucks down the inside of Stranger 2. Stranger is falling backwards, positions dropping left, right, and center.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but in the space of 3 corners, he's lost 3 positions essentially. So something is either happening with the tire saving, the tire life, maybe the point of degradation of those tires as it is right now, or he's realized he's burning too much fuel and has had to back out of it. He didn't have any top speed on the straight, which is unusual. And he didn't have a bad exit either. So yeah, a bit interesting there for the Stranger. He's got a bit of work to do now because it's only another 0.4 of a second back to Gur in the Mercedes behind him.
Absolutely. As we're just seeing it on the next level racing action replay, Stranger losing those positions to Shizer and Daz. It's Carbon Boy up into P4, back where he started.
Daz has just picked up a 0.5 second penalty though. That's another turn 5, takes another victory yet again. That'll bring the Stranger back into it. He will be serving it on this lap too, yes. So he will drop down behind Gur after this. The Stranger and Gur will go through. Off the back of them is Liegenspiel, Kidon Plus, and Sizzling Sausage all the way down. And then the Alpha, but the Alpha being an MR
back
car,
on the replay where Daz lost position to Shizer. He sort of got boxed out by Carbon Boy, looking for a move on the outside. That opened the door for Shizer to slip on through. Looks like Daz move from Shizer, opportunistic. Beautifully done.
There is a great little battle evolving between the top 3 now. They've all put the pedal to the metal. They're all using up their tires like crazy right now, and they are getting very, very close to each other, all 3 of them.
This is heating up for the race win. We're approaching the halfway mark in race number 1 here for the Division 3 sprint, and these guys are not backing off one bit. I'll tell you what do you say we head into an APR tyre and fuel update, CGK?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea at this stage of the race. Okie dokie, so let's go around the grid, folks. Starting off with our P1 at the moment, Freelix is at about 50% on those left tyres. It's the left front and the left rear that take a real beating at this circuit. Lots of right-hand corners, lots of them are higher speed as well, using lots of mechanical grips. About just under 50% for him there. He's got quite a bit of fuel on board, those 60% plenty to get to the end of the race. So all cars, I don't think there'll be any fuel concerns around the grid. I'll keep an eye on that. Behind him, Bumcrack in P2. He's got a bit more tyres than Freelix, so definitely looking healthier from that point of view. Might have been why he fell back a little bit earlier on in this race, in the first half of this race from Freelix. Behind him, Black Project is got some pretty rubbishy tyres. They're at about 40%. Plenty of fuel for all of them on board. The left's just looking absolutely burnt out. Black Project has got about the same amount of grip as Freelix has, so Bumcrack has the tyre advantage in the top 3 at the moment. Carbon Boy behind, looking after his tyres a bit better. He's got about 50% left in his front left and rear left. Oh no, but he's gone. Oh dear. Carbon Boy's gone.
Chaos in the background. Oh, that's 2 or 3 cars gone. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's Shizer there, I believe.
And Carbon Boy.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Shizer and Carbon Boy. So Carbon Boy got loose very wide on the last corner, spun around, and unfortunately Shizer had nowhere to go at all.
As they drop to the back of the pack, unfortunately, those two continuing on for now.
Sure are. So as they continue on, I will continue on as well. So the Stranger on board with him now. He's got about 80% of his tyres left and about half of his fuel left, so he's doing really, really well, but maybe being a bit conservative on the tyre usage. Maybe the Alpha just doesn't have that kind of tyre wear, but doesn't seem to be using the full force of the tyres at this stage. Good, just behind him, he's at about 40% of his tyres, plenty of fuel on board. Daz in P6 now, 45% on his front left tyres, the rear's looking okay-ish. Liebenspiel now back up into the top 10 positions because of the incident we've just had, so Liebenspiel, about 50% of his tyres. His rears are looking awful though in comparison to his front tyres. They're really suffering on the rears as opposed to the front. Plenty of fuel for all these chaps. Then Killer on Deleuze, his front tyres and rear tyres both looking equally depressed. 30% wear in that for him, and he's got Sizzling Sausage right behind him, whose front left, by the way, is at 10%.
Chucks
His
it down the
rear is
inside
at
of the last
70%.
turn.
Whoa.
Oh, Sizzling Sausage, huge slide. Killer's gone as well. He drops to P9. No redress from Sizzling Sausage there.
Yeah, that is definitely redress territory. He got over the curb and launched his car essentially sideways there. There'll be one that'll go to the steward's box after all. Carbon Boy is actually in the pits. We'll talk about that in just a second. But yes, Shizer now he's got dead rear front left tyres. 20% on them at the moment, 50% on the rear. Carbon Boy has come into the pits, not for a refuel, but for a fresh set of tyres with 8 minutes remaining in this race.
Very interesting stuff at this point in the race.
I will give a quick other extra update, because as we went through the grid, when I started with Freelix, he had about 50% of his tyres left. He's now got 20. I think the tyre life is dropping off a cliff at a rapid rate. So every time they go through those fast right-handers, it's ripping more and more grip out of the tyres. So they are wearing at a very, very quick rate now, much faster than we've just seen in the first 10 minutes.
Oh dear. Thank you for the tyre and fuel update, Crazy Good Kung Fu. And we should be seeing them later on in race number 2.
You're right.
As there's sponsor boards all over the track. Hoping that a steward runs out and picks that up real quick, just because might be a bit of a safety hazard to these guys at the moment.
You wouldn't want one of those on your front window, would you?
No, certainly not.
Yeah, but maybe they're just playing a casual game of petanque out there at the same time.
As there's no real battles on track at the moment, no real close battles. Apart from the front three, there no moves being made, but these guys keeping it within about a second of one another, the front three.
I think we step on the front three at the moment, because there's going to be something very interesting happening in the next couple of minutes with these three. We've got Freelix, who has got basically dead tyres, Bumcrack, who's got almost dead tyres, and Black Project, who's got one very dead tyre. They've got 3 different sort of patterns of wear on their tyres at the moment, and I'm not sure who's going to crack first. At the moment, Freelix is just losing out time and time again in terms of lap time to Bumcrack, and Bumcrack's got more in the kitty in terms of grip on his tyres, so we could well see Bumcrack challenging for the lead here in the next few laps.
Freelix needs a win like this for his championship hopes. Wasn't able to decrease that lead much at Laguna Seca at round number 7. However, he did take the race win at the Spa and Giro double points there, keeping his championship hopes alive at the same time.
Well, it was a bloody good drive from Freelix out last time at Spa. He really, really did a good job to get himself right on top of the grid there, and secured the victory as well, which was no easy feat with all the rain that we had last week. So quite glad we're in dry conditions here in Atlanta.
Absolutely. As
So-
Bumcrack right up under that rear bumper of Freelix at the moment. 3 tenths separating these guys. 2 tenths now. And there's
Yeah,
a
well-
massive straight coming up. Could we see the move on this lap from Mr. Bumcrack?
If he's going to do it anywhere, it's probably going to be under brakes and turning. The reason being that Freelix is now running 0% on his front left and 5% on his rear left tyre. So he's got no grip when it comes to turning right at this stage. Bumcrack still has a bit in the tank. And Black Project I've also seen struggling a little bit as well. He seems fast on the straight though, the Ferrari at the moment. So I don't know, I expect Bumcrack to be able to get past, but it's a question of which corner does he aim for. It's hard to find a place if you've got reasonably equal speed on the straights.
Absolutely. As they start the 12th lap here. As we saw Black Project on the run down towards turn 10, he just sort of lost touch with the front guys a little bit. Now seeing it about a second when it was about half that lap ago.
Oh, Freelix has run wide, and
Oh.
that's let Bumcrack come through. They're going to go side by side, the S's.
That's
it's
the
a bit of
lead of the
contact.
race. Bumcrack goes through. But that's
Yeah.
now bringing Black Project into things, leaving Freelix under threat from front and behind.
Yeah, so Black Project has got 1 tyre that's completely dead. Freelix has got 2 that are completely dead. As you can see, he actually can't turn right at the moment. So Bumcrack here has got just enough in the tyres. He might be able to make it to the end of the race, but Freelix is on nothing. He's on 0-0, has been this entire lap. And Black Project's front left is also at 0. He's got a good run though. He'll have a better slipstream on Freelix too. He might be looking for a move here into the chicane.
Could he get it done potentially? He's going to be very far back, but dive bomb territory. He does dive down the inside. Unable to pull that move off though. Has to back out. That leaves Freelix running very deep, looking for the switchback. Freelix under pressure again. Big wobble from the Respawn Esports car. As we see the Black Light Ammo driver right up underneath him. We could see him move into the first turn. Freelix, not the greatest exit out of the final corner.
Oh, there's
No
been a
move.
bit
Oh!
of contact there. Yeah,
Black
little bit
Project.
of front
Ooh.
splitter to rear splitter damage there, but no damage actually, no.
As Black
Oh, he's
Project
done it.
goes through, so I think Freelix just doesn't have the grip to go through the first turn at 100%.
Yeah, I mean Black Project's got the rear left to rely on there in that right-hander. Freelix does not. He's got nothing on the left-hand side of his car, so he actually can't turn right, whereas Black Project can just turn right. And Bumcrack's out the front, just being able to turn reasonably happily at this stage. He's driving very cautiously right now to try and protect the tyres, but they will be gone in the space of about a lap, 2 minutes to go.
As we have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at what happened just then, it looked like Mr. Bumcrack, Freelix, he had a very similar incident to what happened in qualifying. Massive oversteer moment coming through turn 3, and then Bumcrack just slips on through. And then immediately after that, when Black Project ended up going through on Freelix, it looked like he sort of ran up the back of Freelix, or maybe locked up a bit, and then Freelix just didn't have the grip, and Black Project swept around the outside.
Yeah, it ended up being quite a nice move, and it just shows you the level of grip difference, even just having slightly less worn tyre by 5 or 3 or 2%. Make a huge difference out on track. And yeah, so Bumcrack will continue to run away with it, by the way, and we've got Shizer down the grid. He had a penalty picked up. A lot of them now running on very dead tyres, except for Carbon Boy. He's right at the back of the grid. He was 19 seconds off about 5 corners ago. He's now 17 seconds off the back of Sizzling Sausage. Tyres fresh as anything, and everyone else is running on nothing. Everyone else on the grid has got a dead tyre or 2, except for the Stranger, who's up in P4 right now, and closing on Freelix.
The question is, will these guys get another lap? This could well be the last lap, as Bumcrack is under threat from Black Project. 1/10 separate these two. Coming into what could be the final overtaking opportunity. Looks like it will be. Look at the lap times.
Yeah, he's right there. He's got the outside
now
line.
Black
It's gonna be a
Project.
braking competition.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be massive. Let's see who gets the move done. Felix, he has massive overlap, but Bumcrack just has to defend. He's got the nose in. Oh my god, Bumcrack, a little bit of contact wiggle from Black Project, and Bumcrack will take the race win. He's gonna win it. Hold out in spectacular fashion over Black Project, and Felix. Black Project takes P2, Felix in third, Stranger fourth, almost joined the front three there. Gur in fifth, Levenspiel will take P6 in the Red Mist car.
Yeah, I didn't know how that was going to end at the end of the day, and Black Project was given space by Bumcrack, but Felix came in a little hot maybe, and tapped the back of Black Project, nearly sent him into the side of Bumcrack. Unfortunately, and unfortunately for Bumcrack, Black Project was able to maintain control of his car, but it really compromised his exit there. I thought he had a good run, he had the space, he just needed to get the power down, and with that little tap from Felix behind, he just wasn't able to. He was having to countersteer at the last second there, but great battle from the top three. Really enjoyable to watch.
As Carbon Boy crosses the line to complete the race. Wow, what a photo finish it came down to in the end there. That was a massive between those front three. Spectacular to watch, massive action, and you love to see it. So good.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, it is absolutely lovely. So I will now get started on my race director duties and get this lobby set up for race 2. So I'll be back with you in just a moment.
Absolutely. As we have a look at the race results for race number 1 there, Mr. Bumcrack will take the 8 points associated with P1 here in his Supra, just 4/10 over Black Project, who almost ended up losing that position to Felix in the end there, who was only 6/10 behind Black Bumcrack, I should say, and Stranger. He was only 3 seconds behind. He almost clawed his way back into the race win fight as Gur finishes in P5 there in the Mercedes. Levenspiel will take P6. Daz P7, Killer P8. We have Shies at P9, Sizzling Sausage 10th, and Carbon Boy in 11th, with the Gokanga fastest lap to his name as well. So will take an extra point and add that to his championship standings. Remember, points only to the top 8, so Shies, Sizzling Sausage, and Carbon Boy missing out on points on this occasion. I believe it's just... Is it 8 points? Hang on. Might just need to check this real quick. I'll get back to you guys in a second with that. But for now, I know it's the top 8 that finish with the points. But so you're looking at the ones who got points at the moment on the stream. No, you are not actually. There's the race results. Bumcrack takes P1, Black Project P2, Felix P3, Stranger P4, Gera P5, Levenspiel P6, Daz P7, Killer 8th, Shizer 9th, Sizzling Sausage 10th, Carbon Boy 11th with the fastest lap. Sorry about that, guys. Forgot to click the button. So, just to let you all know, it is 10 points for P1, 2 points for P8, 8 points for P2, 7 points for P3, 5 points for P4, 4 points for P5, 3 points for P6, 2 points for P7, and a lone point for P8. How are things coming along here, CGK, with the grid? Is it almost ready to go?
We are nearly ready to go, so give me another 20 seconds. I'll chime back in with you, and we'll be ready to start race number 2.
No worries. As we'll just say, we'll just have a little bit of a chat to the people in the YouTube chat. As we see a couple more people. Oz Pat Stars in chat. We see a P Pop, Snake Eyes, the prospectors here. Dadson's in the chat, in the house, and wow. Yeah, I think Pat Star said it best. Felix, he just fried his tires. Like, I think just for Bumcrack being able to sit behind and sort of conserve a little bit, it made the difference in the end there, and Felix was leading the entire way and just fell short when it mattered most. But now coming up, we have the full points race momentarily coming up.
That's right.
Which is full 30 points.
Yeah, and I will be hitting the start button now, Lenocis. We are ready to go. Everything's checked in, and the race order has been set from the previous results, so we are actually ready to go now. I'm going to click the big red button. There it goes, and we'll be getting into the grid. I agree on that, what you were just saying about Bumcrack and the tyre management there. This is going to be key in race 2.
as the drivers head to the grid.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see any different strategies today in race 2. I get the feeling most won't want to go for that catch-up strat, though. It didn't work out for Carbon Boy, sadly. I don't think the one-stopper is going to work. You just got to make it work with the no-stop.
5 lights. They are out and racing here for race number 2 in Division 3 here at Road Atlanta. The Alfa Romeo blistering start straight down the inside of everybody. Is he going to go into the lead of the race? 3 wide into the first turn. Stranger, can he get it pulled up? No, he's going to have to settle for P2. Wow, what a start. There's still 3 wide in the background. Let's see how they're shaping up down the back. Nobody. Nothing. Oh, huge contact. Levenspiel and Sizzling Sausage. Huge contact. And Levenspiel is facing the wrong way at turn 2. Oh,
that
dear.
Is a bit of a nightmare for that driver in Levenspiel. That is going to really set him back. Quite far back already, but overall a good start. The Stranger and that Alpha just flies off the line. I don't know what they're doing with that car. It's absolutely brilliant, and he's up into P2 and holding on at this stage. He will have a fast Supra and a Ferrari behind him in Felix and Black Project. We know that the Stranger didn't really have the pace to keep up with these guys. He's already being oversped by Felix. This is going to be a move maybe up the outside on the Ferrari of Black Project.
Dear.
Wants some too.
They're going 3 wide down the back straight. This is spectacular stuff. As Felix and Black Project, is Black Project able to get the move done? He's got the nose in, but so does Felix. But Felix should be able to hold that line. Little bit of a wiggle from Felix, so that allows Black Project to hold alongside. These guys are going 2 wide in the final corner. It's going to be Black Project who has to concede, and now Stranger down the inside of Black Project settles down for now.
Yeah, so the Alpha gained as much on the start that it then lost in 1 lap, and it just shows you the difference in pace, top speed-wise, and some of the more critical handling values of this. The Stranger might be trying to save the tyres a little bit, but the guys at the top, they know from last race, absolute full send mode is the way to go.
As the race single file for the moment through that technical first sector, I should say, as they head down towards the square part of the circuit, turn 6 and turn 7.
Shizer and Gurr going for it at the moment between P6 and P7, but there's a line of cars literally behind Felix, P2 all the way down to P7, and even Daz still right in this in P8 at the moment. Carbon Boy's gone up from last place to 9th and still holding on as well, though it looks to be going for a bit more of a conservative strategy at this stage.
So we're just having a look at that incident with Levenspiel and Sizzling Sausage. It sort of looked like Levenspiel was coming across and Sizzling Sausage just made contact and sent Levenspiel a little bit wide there, so not ideal for either of those drivers sitting at the back of the pack at the moment. But we'll have a look at that race start from Stranger. He ducked down the inside of everybody from P4 on the grid. He almost went all the way to P1. Bumcrack was able to slide into the lead, but he was able to hold P2 through the first turn. Massive for Stranger.
And I've got to redirect your attention because Gurr has just been overtaken by Shizer and Daz in turn 1, got pushed wide, and then pushes Carbon Boy and flips him round. So Carbon Boy's gone for a spin at turn 2 and 3 due to contact from Gurr, and tried round the outside, did Carbon Boy, and it just didn't work out, and now he's just all over the place with Sizzling Sausage right behind him in P10. That was very close.
Oh, and picks up a half-second penalty, adding insult to injury.
Yeah, that is salt in a very open wound, a very fresh open wound, sadly for Carbon Boy, and he'll have a bit of work to do now to catch up back to that pack. He was in the slipstream, now he won't have it. Behind him, Sizzling Sausage is all over him.
As Bumcrack goes half a second fastest at the moment. And he has a 2-second gap over the Black Light Ferrari of Black Project, but Black Project has a mirror full of a Respawn Esports Supra.
Yeah, he's got a giant Michelin figure at the front of that Supra staring down at him. And the objects are currently appearing very much at the distance that they really are in reality, the Black Project, because Felix is right on his bumper pretty much. only 0.6 of a second between them at this stage. But the Stranger has not let this pack go yet. He's still only 0.7 of a second behind, and that's been fluctuating between 0.5 and 0.7. It's a better time on that first corner there. These guys at the top really sending it hard into that second corner.
Stranger's in a really good spot here. He hasn't got the outright pace over the guys ahead of him, but if he's able to just sit and hang on to the back of this front pack, that's going to be absolutely crucial in his race win ambitions, as this race is really going to play into the hands of Stranger with the superior tyre and fuel saving of the Alpha. I think Stranger is in a very good position at the moment, hanging on to just 4 seconds to the lead. That's just too good to deny at this stage. We're already a quarter through, so 3/4 of the race to go, and that grip is really going to start dropping off for the Supras and Ferrari in front over the next couple of minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Correct, and we saw it in race 1. I mean, the Stranger was a lot further back in race 1, and he was gaining time on the top of the pack at the end, because he still had easily 50% of his tyres left. So you're absolutely spot on there. If he's falling back a little bit now, he's well out of the slipstream of Freelix and Black Project, so 1.5 seconds down, 1.6.
Move between Killer on Shizer on Killer, I should say, and Shizer gets down the inside, easy as you like for the 86 driver on the Supra. Toyota on Toyota, a machinery battle.
Yeah, it was a little bit of contact between the two as Shizer came through, but it's pretty tricky to avoid at that turn 1, I have to admit. Not surprising, we're scraping a few window shields there and mirrors and such, but Shizer does get the move done. P5 for him now, and he'll have an opportunity here to chase down the Stranger, whose ultimate pace is lacking a little bit. So can the Toyota Shizer maybe have the pace to catch up with the Alfa Romeo ahead? And as it looks right now, it looks like that could be potentially happening in the next 14 minutes.
Absolutely. As we look back up front, Black Project still got a mirrorful of a Freelix sitting behind. Imagine these two are going to be going out at the rest of the race, but Freelix holding the fastest lap at the moment with a 24.7. Maybe not learning from last race, using a little bit more tyre than he probably would like. We saw this in the Enduro, the GT4 Enduro that we had at Interlagos. He was just struggling on tyre wear. So a race like this where tyre saving and speed is the two elements that play into this race. I mean, setting fastest laps might not be the way to go for Freelix, but we'll have to see how things play out for him.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just accepted that he's going to end up with worse tyres than Black Project and Bumcrack. And of course, last race he was leading us for quite some time. So, he was able to manage the gap and do a bit of defending. This time he has to be on full attack, but very squiggly in the S's. It's just costing him tyre life every time you hear those tyres screech. Yeah, he's just not... I don't know if he's he might be overdriving the car a little bit at this stage, because he's putting a lot of load into those tyres. I would say unnecessarily. And yeah, there doesn't seem to be a focus at all on saving the tyres for Freelix at this stage. Just wants to hold on the back of Black Project, knows that he makes up lap time if he can stay in the slipstream. But speaking of slipstream, he won't have much of it this time round the back straight. But the Stranger is just getting in range too. So yeah, once we do a tyre and fuel update, you'll get an idea. But take a guess, Lenocis. There's one person on the grid with a tyre life that is rather lower than the others.
I'm going to take a quiet guess, and I think the audience are going to take a quiet guess as well at who that is, and it will be confirmed in right about now. How does a tyre and fuel update sound, CGK?
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. There's nothing like solving a mystery immediately after you've heard about it, right? So let's get this started. So starting off with sorry, touch the mic button there. Starting off with Bumcrack, who is our leader at the moment, currently sitting on those racing soft tyres, about 70% wear on the front and rear left, 2.5 second gap out to Black Project. Speaking of which, Black Project is back there. He's got pretty much equal tyre wear to Bumcrack, so both of those two able to maintain the speed while looking after the tyres, and I can see there's a lot less sliding around, not just, both of them in terms of their racing line, just finding the rotation nicely without destroying the tyres. Putting the foot down and going in a straight line, which is good. Freelix behind. And yeah, to answer the question that I said earlier, Freelix is significantly worse off than everyone else around the grid. Black Project sitting around 50%, likewise with Bumcrack. But Freelix is now down to probably just about 30% on his tyre life. So He's doing substantially worse than that, and we're not even a half race distance, and he's already well below the 50% mark. He might be thinking of doing a stop here, which would be very interesting to see. The Stranger in behind at P4, no surprise here, 90% of his tyres are left to go. Heaps of tyres, heaps of fuel as we go to halfway through the race. Shies behind. Similar amount of tyre life to the front too. About 50% on the front left there, plenty of fuel on board. The rear is looking very tidy for Shizer though. Killer on Loose, who's getting a bit slidey himself, might be killing those tyres a little bit much more than he wants to be. 40% on the rear, 60% on the front at this stage. So another car here, another Toyota, in fact, doing very poorly on its rear tyres. The front's looking actually okay. Then we've got Gurr in the AMG, the 43 car, and he's got about 60% left on his front. The rear is looking very, very nice and tidy. Of course, FR car is probably going to be a little bit better on the rear tyres, you'd think. Closing in on Killer and Loose as we speak. Then in P8, Sizzling Sausage. As always, this something about this Silvia is very, very interesting because its rear tyres are at 90%, but the front is at about 20%, maybe even less than that. So it kills, absolutely. I don't know if this is just a driving style thing, it might be, but it's absolutely killing his front left tyre at this stage. Very little grip left on it at this stage. Carbon Boy is right behind and doing a move.
Wide. Carbon Boy slots on through into turn 7. Small mistake from Sizzling Sausage, who runs at the back of Carbon Boy. A little bit of a tap, pushing him through the corner there.
Yeah, but overall a very nice overtake there from Carbon Boy. So over to Carbon Boy, and no surprise, he's got more tyre life than Sizzling Sausage behind. That's probably one of the reasons why he was able to get the grip. Swerving on the straight to try and break that slipstream. Knows that Sylvia might be quite quick. Goes defensive as well, does Carbon Boy. Doesn't want to give up this position at all. Squeezes for space. Takes a tight line into the last couple of corners, turn 10, 11, and does hold it through the final corner. So well done there from Carbon Boy. His tyre life is looking at about halfway, so about 50%. Daz then, we move to in P10, 50% on both of his tyres, looking pretty healthy. And then Lievenspiel the same in P11.
Thank you for that, CGJ.
My pleasure. Well, as a usual follow-up note here, Felix. So he's got 10% left in the front. We've got 8 minutes to go in this race. He's either going to be driving around for 7 minutes on no tyres on the front and rear left, or he's going to have to come into the pits. And at this stage, you'd think the pit stop would be basically professional suicide in terms of results here.
It's interesting to think about because there's something about Felix in this Group 4 machinery that just doesn't agree with the way that he drives in terms of tyres. Seems like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way he's driving it. Definitely overdriving the car, consuming considerably more than the drivers around him. But it's just weird to think about how there's one driver who's just uses so much more tyres than everybody else around him.
I know we have a few controller players in Div 3 here, so there is obviously the usual controller versus wheel thing in terms of saving tyres. And I do notice just from what Felix kind of is doing in the car, it looks like he's a controller player. From what I can tell, if he's not, then my apologies, of course. I don't actually know. But there is also the potential that, you know, in the GT3 class car, you've got a lot more aero to rely on. The cars have a bit more happening with their weight transfer, so you can put a bit more load into the tyres of a GT3 car, and the aero will kind of help the car stay stable and keep the tyres from wearing out too much. So with the GT4 cars being slower, they not as much aero on them. They're going to be, you're going to be using a lot more mechanical grip, and oh, that's a big moment for Felix. Holds onto it. But look how he's got nothing. He's got no grip at all. And by the way, the Stranger behind him is now in shooting distance and potentially going for an overspeed moment here down the back straight. So yeah, that would be my analysis in motion. I suspect that it's probably the lesser aero is forcing him to use more mechanical grip to get the turn-in that he wants as part of his driving style, and he just doesn't have that aero to rely on here. As the Stranger looks like he's going to get the move done. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, easily. Good job from the Stranger there.
Gutting for Felix though, down P4 now. He's got no tyres to rely on. And by the way, Shizer, who does have just a little bit of tyre left, 10% on that front, is going to be hunting him down at this stage.
Absolutely. It's going to be tight towards the end of this one. Very interesting to see how it plays out. But we have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at what happened. Oh, sorry. That is the wrong replay. 1 second, everybody. So we'll have a look at the Next Level Racing action replay at what happened for Freelix as he just ran very wide through turn 6 and then clipped the grass, spun across onto a very shallow apex line there, and that just allowed Stranger to get a better line onto the back straight and putting himself up into the podium places, which now is where Stranger's tyres are really going to play and work for him. That gap to Bumcrack out to 6 seconds, back to 4. So it's on for Stranger. Stranger could go all the way in this one. It's not out of the question. Speaking of out of the question, Black Project is sitting good. 1 second to Bumcrack ahead.
Yeah, these two are going to be in fighting distance in a couple of laps. I suspect 4.5 minutes to go in this race. Both their tyre wear is getting to the point where they're about to run out. Bumcrack doing slightly better on the front, but worse on the rear, whereas Black Project is doing worse on the front left and better on the rear left tyre. So could be quite interesting here. The Ferrari's got some great speed here, I have to admit. Looking very strong at Atlanta today. So it's all to play for Black Project. He's really in it, but the Stranger is pulling a gap back to Freelix, and Freelix, yeah, I've seen cars on jacks with less tires than this. Yeah, 0-0 front and rear left. He's got 0 grip, and even when he accelerates, the Stranger's had an issue as well. Yes, he has.
They were both wiggling down on the exit of the third quarter there. I mean, very hairy situation for both of those cars.
Tokyo drift over Freelix as he's just throwing it into the corner and just praying he's got enough grip on the right and the right front and rear tire just to sort of get him through. He's basically driving a motorbike at the moment. Oh, look at that. He's got no grip at all. He tries to put any power down. The car just says, nope, I'm not having a bar of that, and he's having to slide his way through. He might even burn through those right tires if he keeps this up. It was quite impressive. Now, what's happened? Hold on. So Scheiser's had a major issue.
He's gone. Where is he? 11th. This looks like a wheel failure of some sorts. Parking the car. Retirement of the car, potentially. I'm not too sure what's happened here. I'm guessing some sort of mechanical failure.
Looks like a big send for Killer on the loose on Carbon Boy. Doesn't get the move done though in the last corner, so Carbon Boy will continue to go on. Both of them suffering on tyres a lot. Killer on the loose suffering more. So he's obviously quite desperate to get that move done. Only 2.5 minutes left of this race though, Lenocis. So all comes down to now.
2 laps remaining in this one as they approach the yellow flag sector.
Yes, that's the
for
Scheiser there, yeah.
With not much to... As he is going again, albeit 1 lap down, so I imagine he would take the checkers.
Yes, so there's also a little battle going on between Levenspiel and Sisson Sausage for the last couple of laps. Stuff going on there. Killer on the loose, Carbon Boy go through on Scheiser for the second time, and Gurr is sitting very much in the doldrums at the moment. Freelix might just hang on to P4 here. The Stranger, P3, Black Project, and Bumcrack. Well, the gap's reduced now. It's only 0.6 of a second. So, coming up to the last lap of this race, we'll have to keep an eye on the top 2.
4 seconds to Stranger behind. I think it might be a bit of a tough ask at this point to see a Doghouse first win of the season. But we'll have to wait and see, because he could do a Bradbury. We could see it happen. Black Project and Bumcrack, things might get spicy on this last lap. Into turn 1 for the final time.
Really good exit there for Black Project. He's found a bit of time already, but not able to take as much speed into turn 2 as Bumcrack is. It's going to cost him, but they'll get a pretty good run through the S's. So will Bumcrack, even Stevens at the moment. Into turn 5 they go. This is the dangerous corner, but you can gain a lot of speed. Yeah, it looks like Black Project struggling a little bit on entry and apex speed. Bumcrack seems to be doing a bit better in that regard, maybe due to the slightly better tyre life he's got. Through turn 6 and 7 they go now. There's sort of an apex there for Bumcrack, bit of an apex there for Black Project. They will hook it up here, and they need a good run down the back straight. Bumcrack's one wide.
As Black Project, this is massive. 3 tenths, 2 tenths. Will we see a change for the lead? overtaking opportunity as Black Project pulls out. Couldn't get it done last race. He's going to get it done this time. Edges in front. Down towards the braking zone. Bumcrack's going to lose out here as Black Project slams on the brakes. Bumcrack tries around the outside, but it's in vain as Bumcrack, the yellow flags are out, and Black Project is going to take this one for Blacklight. What a race! How has he done that?
Well,
Magnificent!
It's good stuff. Bumcrack there, he ran wide at turn 7. That's what opened up the line for Black Project. Black Project with just a light, he had about 5% of his rear left tire left. It was just enough to pull out the torque that he needed to and get that overspeed on Bumcrack.
So Stranger completes the podium. Freelix comes home in P4. Gur will take P5. Carbon Boy and Killer will be the next ones to cross. P6 and 7 for those boys. Daz and Sizzling Sausage fighting for the final top 8 as Livingspiel takes P10 and Shiza so close to the finish line. Yeah, something has majorly gone wrong for the Brocchio 5 Sim Racing car. He will round out the pack with that one.
Yeah, really unlucky for Shiza there, and was doing very well toward the top part of the grid. But sadly for him, some sort of mechanical issue with his gear has caused him a bit of a problem there. So very unlucky for him. But overall, a very fun race here. 2 times 20-minute sprint race. Always fun with the sprint races, and a track like this at Road Atlanta. I'd say it's more fun in the Group 3 cars, but Group 4 cars still perform very well. And you're fighting with the grip. You're fighting with the mechanical grip of it. Fighting against the lack of aero that you've got there. So overall, very, very top stuff from the drivers.
So this is how they shape up at the end of race 2. Black Project will come home in P1 to take his second win of the season. Magnificent stuff for the Ferrari driver. Blacklight will take another. Bumcrack in P2 with the Gokanga fastest lap to his name as well. A 1:24.4 at that. Stranger completes the podium in the Alfa Romeo. His first of the season. Freelix will take P4. Struggled in the later stages of both races and has to settle just outside for best of the rest here. Gur takes P5. He'll be chuffed with that great result for the Dadson driver. Carbon Boy in P6. Massive drive up 5 positions even. He started P11, stone dead last, and has made a result out of it for Carbon Boy. Great stuff for the Obsession driver. Get on the loose in P7 there for Lightning. Daz will take P8 for Deeds. Sizzling Sausage in P9. Levenspiel in P10. And Shiza will come home in P11 due to his mechanical failure. Running within the points, well and truly inside of the points. 5th on the road at the time, and yeah, not too sure what's happened there. We will get confirmation shortly on what happened, but yeah, that's rather unfortunate for Shiza. Sure we'll find out what happened there either through the Brocchio 5 Sim Racing team owner as Brocky himself, or from Shiza himself. So we'll get back to you guys with that one. But I'd like to take the opportunity to say to everybody, thank you for showing up for our Division 3 race here tonight. If you haven't already, hit the like button. We've got 40 people currently watching the stream, probably in season high for Division 3 at the moment. So, yeah.
An equal amount of Driver of the Day nominations as well. I'm just looking down the list here at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got the Stranger in the vote. The Stranger looks like he almost voted for himself there. No, just appreciating the vote. Driver of the Day, Bumcrack. Stranger, DOTT. Black Project. Yeah, okay, so it's a bit of a split. I think I'm a bit split on it as well, to be honest. I mean, top 3 performed so well, and the grid was different at the end of each race.
Yeah, I mean, so many Driver of the Day nominations. You could give it to anyone. Really, like, there's so many people that deserve it. Bumcrack deserves it. Held his own, took the race win in race 1, P1, P2. Black Project deserves it, P2, P1 as well, taking more points than Bumcrack. And Stranger deserves it, P4, P3. Freelix even, you could say, but yeah, it's just massive So many moves up and down the field. You could even give it to Carbon Boy, making up massive moves in that second race. It's just so many people that you could give that driver of the day to. Gur as well, we see a couple of nominations for him. 2 P5s for Gur, I mean, massive stuff. So many people that deserve it, so I'm torn. I personally can't give a driver of the day for how good that race was, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Massive stuff. That was a spectacular race to watch.
It was good
Don't
fun,
give it to
really,
that Carbon
really
Boy guy.
Oh
Definitely
no,
don't give
no,
it to him.
we didn't consider that for a second, mate. Don't worry, don't you worry about
Excellent.
that. I was just gonna say before we take too much of the piss out of your performance, Carbon Boy. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Shiza
Oh,
did
go
have
right
his...
ahead. It wasn't great, so go
Yeah.
nuts.
Well, no, your second race was really good. We'll mention that in a minute. I just want to mention that Shiza had his pedals failed. They turned off in the middle of the race. So
That's why he was
that's
just...
why he disappeared, sadly. Personally, for me, driver of the day is going to, for me at least, was Black Project. Just stood out just a little bit more. He managed the rear tire grip just enough to beat both Bumcrack and Freelix, who were going for full send strategy. So both races in the top 3, and did the best out of the top 3 there, who are all in contention for driver of the day, to manage his tires. So for me, it's Black Project today, getting the driver of the day from my perspective.
Very solid vote there. I mean, taking the win on the final corner on the final lap, that's just spectacular. And he tried it out in race 1. It came to that exact same situation. And Bumcrack, of course, taking race 1, but worked out for Black Project in race number 2, of course, taking the win, full points to the Blacklight Motorsport driver. That's a big happy Father's Day to the good doc for over there at Blacklight Motorsport for sure.
And you can enjoy it. So now do we get on to the part that we all like, which is talking about Carbon Boy's race?
Well, I think we should give it to Carbon Boy here. What happened in the first race?
Well, long story short, coming onto the main straight, I ran out of tarmac, found the grass, and looped the car, and unfortunately, I took out Shiza along with me. So, to Shiza, my biggest apologies, mate. I am an idiot, and I'm sorry to have completely ruined your race as well, because we were both in, I think, P4 and P5 at that point in time.
Yes, indeed. Well, it was looking really, really good. And yeah, as you said, you just ran a little bit wide at the exit of the final corner. And yeah, that was all she wrote, really, wasn't it? Because the car did not want to handle that, just the angle attacking the exit. And yeah, really unfortunate, mate. Really gutted to see both you guys.
The one positive I can take out of the first race, I got my first ever race fastest lap.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, in the race number 1, you took the extra stop, took the gamble, and extra point to your name.
Okay, yes, I cheated a little bit. I pitted for new tyres, but I thought, bugger it, I'm dead last.
They all count.
Yeah, I'm dead last. Let's just go for the fastest lap, and yeah, paid off.
Valid strategy, and I think that does bank you a point for this, doesn't it?
I genuinely hope so.
Both races, they do count. Both races do give the extra 1 point.
You know, it's weird. As we were looking at you do that in terms of pitting, I really was thinking, okay, is this some genius strategy that we haven't thought about yet? And I was in two minds about whether it was just you being like, fuck it, I'd rather finish this race in last and not sliding around the track versus sliding around the track and finishing the race even further behind. Or, you were flying on those last couple of laps, but actually the fastest lap, taking that, didn't actually cross my mind. So glad we sorted that little mystery out, actually.
Yeah, you've made the mistake of using the words genius and my name in the same sentence.
Well, oh no, mate, not at all, not at all. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, it was a good race to behold for Div 3, and they've done well. And now we move on to Div 1.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be a massive event here. So many fast operators in this Division 1 field. It's always a good show, and I have a good feeling about this one, that's for certain.
Indeed, and unfortunately, chaps, I won't be able to join you for this one, even though it is a bit of a short one. I've got to get up super early tomorrow, and I've had actually about as much sleep as you've had, Lenocis, and you might want to tell everyone on stream why you're lacking in some sleep, because you've been somewhere pretty amazing this weekend, but I'll leave you to chat. But a pleasure as always being in the comms box. Thank you, Lenocis. Thank you, Carbon Boy. Always a pleasure, and good luck in Div 1.
Thank you for your race director and comms box duties.
thank
Always a
you
pleasure,
for
always a
your
pleasure.
efforts, your time, your volunteering. Awesome job in the comms box, as always. We love to have you here. I think the audience love to have you here, so
They just like the
awesome job
change
as
in
always.
accent. They like to have the occasional British person speaking, so I'm here to fill a gap. See a need, fill a need. Yeah.
As we actually have an interesting Driver of the Day nomination here. The Driver of the Day has actually been given to you, CGK, by
Oh.
Karen.
Oh, Karen. Oh, that's too kind. That's too kind. Yeah, driver of the day. He's the mystery man out on track in the invisible Batmobile, and actually got P0, so I'm technically the race winner.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
I'll
All right,
take
so
it. That's nice.
we're going to duck to a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll be right back for Division 1. It's going to be massive here in Division 1. We've got lots of drivers lining up, and yeah, we've got a whole field, I believe. All 14 here tonight? No, we're missing one. Let me just have a quick scan through, see who we are missing.
I believe that's Blind Man, because he's saying, on my way, currently having issues joining the lobby.
Oh, well, so we do have a full grid. Okay, so Blind Man has 5 minutes. We'll just head to a quick intermission and we'll be right back, guys. Thanks for joining us, CGK, and as for everybody else, stay tuned. We'll be right back with some Division 1, Sector 1 action. Hello, everybody. We are back for Division 1 here in the Sector 1 Season 7, Round 9 here at Road Atlanta. Looking forward to the action that we're about to see. Going to be massive. These Division 1 guys play for keeps, and it's just guaranteed to be some spectacular racing action. As always, these guys throw up some spectacular racing. As joining us in the comms box, your Division 1 race director is Carbon Boy. How are we doing tonight, Carbon Boy?
Hot and sweaty as always. How about yourself, Lenocis?
Yeah, doing pretty alright. Just trying to get my voice back after that Division 3 Sprint Series race. Wow.
Yeah, look, it was pretty feisty there in the mid-pack. Don't know how it was for the guys up front who managed to clear out and just disappear off into the distance, but in the mid-pack it was fairly hectic.
Yeah. As I think these guys are just finishing their final test start before we head into their qualifying session. Expect that at about at 8:30 latest. But while we've got the time, let's have a look back at our track map for tonight. The beautiful Road Atlanta here in Georgia in the United States. 4.088 kilometers, 12 turns here. As, of course, afternoon for this Division 1 session. Qualifying 10 minutes coming up in just a few. The races, there's two 20-minute races back-to-back. First race giving points to the top 8, of course, where second race being full points. So looking forward to that. Especially race number 2. That's where all the action takes place. That's where full points are up for grabs, and these guys, they don't go easy on one another. And let's have a look at the points, the Division 1 points, how things are shaping up in the championship at the moment. Sheesh leading the way for Respawn Esports on 278 points. A whopping 44 points. No, yeah, 44 points. Quick math. Is it 44? Hang on. Yes, definitely 44 points over Captain Muffin in P2 for CP Motorsports. TX3 GTR for Hoon Corp in P3. Morgan Davey for Deeds sitting in 4th. Atom, the other Respawn Esports driver, sitting in 5th. Woody for Broke 5 Sim Racing, coming off his podium last race in 6th. Young Wakey for Kraken Esports in 7th. Ricky Bobby for Obsession in 8th position. Blind Man for Dadson, 9th. Lewis in 10th for Hoon Corp. Corey Hack sitting 11th in for Resmist. Hellraiser 12th for Brockio 5. Scar in 13th for Lightning Motorsport, who has been replaced by John 27 TCT, making his Sector 1 debut here at Road Atlanta, of course, and FAF 747 for Black Rose Racing completes the 14 in this Division 1 pack. So that's how things are shaping up at the moment in the Division 1 field. Qualifying should be getting underway, as the button has been clicked, actually. Haven't you clicked
I'm on it this week.
Yep. A little bit earlier than my prediction, so ready to go.
Looking forward to this race. They've been quite heated, shall we say, during the test starts, but hopefully that all settles down. They find their own position on track and they can start cranking out some extremely rapid lap times, as I'm expecting to see from them.
As per usual, Ricky Bobby, first one out on track. That's something to think about as well. Why does it seem the same drivers always end out on track first? Something that Gran Turismo...
That's a bit of a mystery.
Yeah, mystery of Gran Turismo. Might have something to do with internet connection. Potentially. Not too sure about that one. But just behind Ricky Bobby is Woody. Diswood 1, sitting second on track at the moment. Coming off a podium at Spa. And Young Wakey sitting just behind him in the Kraken Esports Supra. He's in a Brocky sandwich at the moment, is Wakey, with Hellraiser 4th on track, just behind his teammate and the Division 2 defending champion. Well, he's not really defending, he is just the most recent championship, as he did get promoted to Div 1. What would you call that? Not defending championship. What would you say for that, Carbon Boy?
The reigning Division 2 champion.
Raining, that's the word. Thank you. John 27 TCT sporting the green and black colours of the Merlin team. Of course, Lightning Motorsport headed by Stickers. The 61 car for John here, looking to make an impact. Don't think he's been here in Sector 1 for a very long time, but times have changed. He's back, and he's ready to strike, ready to drive, ready to pounce. Captain Muffin in the Golden Macca, sitting in P6 on the road. Just starting his first flying lap, a solid P2 in the Spa Enduro, and he's ready to keep that fire rolling as he heads through the S's here at Road Atlanta. FAF 747 in the Black Rose Sylvia, coming through down towards turn 6 now. And I believe this is his third race, his debut being at Laguna Seca, and I mean, hasn't really had any outstanding results so far, so expect FAF to really be honing his craft and hoping for a good result for him tonight, going out with a bang. As Distinct Jish, the reigning, or championship leader, I should say, in 8th at the moment. And just ahead of his sister team driver in HC Lewis, the Hume Corp driver in 9th on the road. As we're going to start seeing these lap times rolling in, Ricky Bobby sets the first lap of the day. A 24.4 Hellraiser goes quicker by 4 thousandths. John 27 TCT goes quicker than them by 35 thousandths again. And Lewis by a 10.5 over Geesh, who is a half a second over the rest of the pack. But GTR slots himself into P3 with that one. As Corey Hackett into 7th with his lap. And we see further down, Blind Man into 10th. Woody sets his lap time. Atom in 12th on the road, yet to set a lap time. Rolls down the hill. No, this is an out lap, so I believe he's changed tyres here, Atom. Potentially. Yeah, I think so.
You keep the comms going. I will double check that.
As Captain Muffin, yet to set a lap because I believe he has 4.5 seconds of penalties. Oh dear! As we've lost John 27 TCT. Oh dear, that is not great at this stage of the session. So, going to assume that's a disconnect. Might have to check with the rule book to see whether he's allowed to race. I believe he should be able to. We might just have to have a bit of an intermission.
To race. He is allowed to race. He does have to start from the back of the grid, unfortunately.
Even if he's already set a lap time? Because he did indeed set a lap time. That's where the... Because Gran Turismo does keep its records of who set a lap time when they've left the session. So we will have an official result. Whether that is last or not, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to discuss with the rulebook, see what it says, and what the decision will be there, but that sounds like something to sort out after the session. But for now, Ricky Bobby up to P4, Lewis still holding provisional pole position as we approach the halfway mark of the session. Atom can only muster P5. Morgan Davey very far down in his own time, as he has a new livery, which we need to mention. As per every week, he has a white and silver livery, which I must say, that is a spectacular livery. I love the look of that. And if Karen is in chat, he might be able to tell us what flavor of deeds that is, as Morgan is doing a different flavor of deeds can, I guess, that, or mixture, brew of deeds each race. And he's got that beautiful livery on today, and yeah, I just love that. I could stare at that all day. That's a spectacular one.
I have just had some feedback that we have no in-game sound on the live stream.
Ah, yes, that would be my bad. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, sorry. Please forgive me, guys. As Young Wakey goes to P3 with a good lap time there. Edges out GTR.
Atom is into the pits for a fresh set of softs.
Is this the second time he's pit potentially, or?
I think it is because his lap 2 time shows a 152, which is a lot slower than you'd expect for a Div 1.
Yeah, just a tad.
Quiet mention for Young Wacky, popped himself into P3.
Massive lap for the Kraken Esports driver there. Very good job.
Unfortunately, he's carrying a half-second penalty at the moment, so he won't be doing it again on this lap. Geesh, however, has been displaced from the P1 position that he's so used to by HC Lewis in the Sylvia.
Very, very interesting at the top of the timing charts at the moment, for sure. As TX3 GTR serves his penalty along with Young Wakey, who peels into the pits. I think we'll see a couple more laps from these guys. 2 minutes remaining. I believe that could be Wakey done. As Muffin improves to P5 with that lap. Great lap from the Golden Macca. Sheesh! Improves, but not in position. Still 16 thousandths behind Lewis. Very, very tight margins between these guys. As Lewis is
He's certainly not holding back this lap.
Yeah, Lewis's first lap was the fastest lap. Could he improve? There's still one more opportunity to do that. 1 minute 30 remaining in the session, so most of these guys are going to get another lap. I think barring... Oh no, everybody is. Except for... no, everybody is going to get another lap.
Just keeping an eye on the Geesh as he comes onto the back straight now. He was a few hundredths purple at the end of the first sector.
Let's see what it is at the second sector split. Bit of a flash from the Brocco 5 Sim Racing car as Geesh goes past. Ricky Bobby improves to, not in position, but in time. Hellraiser to P7. As Geesh barrels down towards the final turn. Turn 12 here. Flips the apex towards the line. Corey Hack improves. Geesh does not. And Geesh is on another lap. I think the last of the finishers, it may potentially be GTR and whoever that is. Atom, is he going to get another one? Yeah, he'll definitely get another one. First the finishers will be whoever is coming onto the straight there. That is Morgan Davey. So he's going to get one less lap than everybody else here.
Just keep an eye out on this final lap. Keep an eye out on that golden macca of Captain Muffin for CP Motorsports. He is on an absolute mission this lap. He's coming onto the back straight. We'll see how he's doing in the next sector split. But I've got a funny feeling you might see the colour purple.
As he's not purple, but he is blue by 2.5 tenths. That could be enough. Is he able to use the handling of the Macca to get himself onto pole position or even the front row? That would be an achievement in this car. Barreling down towards the final corner, gets the turn in he needs. Yes, not quite. Crosses the line. P5 is all that he can get from that. And just after him, we see no improvement there, but it will be Geesh. Goes to the top of the times, takes the pole in the dying embers. And I think Lewis is nowhere to be found either. He's done. So Geesh will take pole. Young Wakey to P3. Great lap from the Kraken Esports car. Wakey gate. I think, who is still on a lap? Is it GTR by any chance? No.
We
It's
have a
Adam.
Diswood who has found his way back into the pits.
Okay. Is this somebody on a lap as well? I'm trying to find GTR. He is on a lap, but he's very far down. So that will be the end of the session. So we have to figure out what's happening with John. I don't think he's rejoined the server as of yet. But have to wait and see on the verdict for that. I don't think it was a very high lap time. I mean, he was quickest at the time of the disconnect, but the rest of the session went on. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, find out about that one for everybody.
I think we should have a short couple of minutes intermission just while we discuss this with the stewards here at the track.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll have a look at the lobby results, and then we will head to the intermission. Just a technical intermission to sort out, consult the rule book, and see what is going to happen here. We're still waiting for the session to finish because somebody left the 3-minute timer on, and Woody is in the pits.
Yeah, the timer would be my bad. That one leftover setting from the previous round that I didn't quite catch. So, sorry viewers. There we go.
Okay, so we have the official results here. So this is going to be interesting. Jeesh takes the pole position.
Sorry, I should just mention right now, as it stands, John had a P14 lap time. So his qualifying result will still stand. I believe I'm going to have to set the grid manually, though. Am I correct?
Hang on. It says he's P14, but no, that's not a P14 time. That's actually a P10 time. It just has him listed in P14. He has a 1:24.378.
Yes. Sorry. I misread that first 3 as an 8. Sorry, my bad. Right, I'm going to have to set the grid manually.
So this is how they line up.
Okay.
It's Jeesh in P1, Lewis in P2, Wakey P3, GTR P4, Captain Muffin P5, HC Atom in 6th, Morgan Davey 7th, Hellraiser 8th, Ricky Bobby 9th, John 10th, FAF 11th, Corey Hack 12th, Blind Man 13th, and Woody completing the pack here at Road Atlanta. So that's how they line up for the qualifying session. So we're just going to head to a quick intermission. It might not take the full 5 minutes to get our answer, but got to manually set the grid and consult the rulebook to figure out what is the protocol here. So we'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. This Division 1 action will be back shortly. Hello, everybody. We are back here at Road Atlanta once again, and yeah, we're sitting pretty. We've got the order lined up here. Now everything is sorted. The official steward's decision was that as John had set a time good enough for P10, he will be starting there. So everyone from P10 and below will start one position lower than what the qualifying actually said. So John will be starting to P10 in the Lightning car, despite the disconnect, and we're going to go from there. So, you ready to push that big red button, Carbon Boy?
I have smashed that big orange button, even though I have to repaint it every single week.
Maybe we should stop the cleaners from coming into the comms box, but then I think it would get a bit dirty, eh?
Yeah, let's not do that, because, you know what it's like when Karen's in here.
Yeah. As we hear some horns honking. D-Flow? It's been a while since D-Flow was in the top split, eh? 4 lights. 5 lights. It is out, and we are racing Division 1 here at Road Atlanta. These guys get off to a good start. A little bit of rubbing in the background between John and the Black Rose car as everybody barrels down towards the first turn. Looks like they're all through it smoothly. A little bit of contact, sending the Hong Kong car wide, Ricky Bobby wide as well. But these guys continue on for now. Through into turn 2 now. A little bit of action. Bumper to bumper for these guys as they head down towards the S's.
Most importantly, everybody made it through that first chicane nice and clean.
Absolutely.
Ish.
Something that couldn't happen in Div 3 for us. What was that? As Lewis picks up a penalty, which means that Jeesh is going to inherit the lead. I think Jeesh would have got there anyway with the slipstream and 1/10 gap to Lewis. But Lewis, how far down is he going to drop? As that promotes Wakey into P2, and will Atom get there? That's the big question. Yes, he will. It's going to be tight on braking. And GTR is going to go through. So Lewis has lost 4 positions from a half-second penalty, and he's cut that chicane. So, oh my god, Lewis and GTR are inside of each other. That is not great. As, yeah, GTR goes through.
I did see a little bit of glitching there from GDR. It's something I'll keep an eye on. I was riding on board Ricky Bobby back in P7, and as he was coming into that final chicane, GTR just appeared right next to him and then leapt back forward back to P4. So just something I'll keep an eye on here.
So as it stands, Wakey is in a Respawn Esports sandwich, and it's a Supra 123, followed by 2 Silvias, which are Sylvia and an 8.6 who are under a lot of pressure from another Supra. As they barrel down towards turn 5 now. Morgan Davey making avenues at the start of this race in that gorgeous Deeds car. Into turn 7 now. On the power. Morgan Davey could potentially make a move on Lewis here.
I have a conflicting opinion about the D's livery this week. I'm not a fan of the white, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's terrible, I'm just saying it's not quite to my taste.
Muffin down the inside of Ricky Bobby there, takes the position with him as well.
That was a massive send.
Yeah. As well, we saw that in the background as we're following the battle between Morgan and Lewis, which is still raging on. Morgan gets it down the inside. The 8.6 able to get it done. Lewis sweeping around the outside, runs out of room, and he's off. Oh dear, that's massive. As he loses a lot of positions down to P10, 11, even 12. Oh my goodness. Oh, that almost ended in disaster. Oh dear.
Oh, I'm not sure how much room was left for him on that turn 1. There wasn't a lot, but I'm going to leave that up to race review and stewards. And speaking of stewards, I think Woody has been a bit naughtier Oh no, he's managed to... Ooh, there's a bit of bumping and grinding going here in this backpack. Sorry, rear pack, that was not the right word.
Backpack.
Yeah, no one's wearing any backpacks here.
They might be, I don't know. And adding insult to injury, Lewis with another half-second penalty. This has not been a good race start for Lewis. P2 to P13.
Muffin and Morgan side by side into the braking zone. Muffin leaves room for Morgan, but just manages to squeeze himself up into P5.
As
Morgan
Morgan's
hot on his heels.
going to argue the situation here. Barreling down towards turn 1 for the 4th time. And Morgan, could he try around the outside of the Macca? No, he has to concede, looking for the switchback.
Definitely
Narrow
going to be a
line.
conversation. Definitely a conversation to be had here at turn 1.
Oh, and
Might have
Morgan!
made it switchback.
What a move! That is incredible! Runs wide, goes narrow, gets the run on Muffin, and gets it done before turn 2.
I don't think that's the last we'll see of Captain Muffin and Morgan this race, but that has allowed Ricky Bobby and Blind Man to close right up onto the rear of that Macca. And I think they may want to join the conversation as well.
Absolutely. As there's a massive battle pack from Morgan in P5 all the way down to, I think it's, well, you can almost say that FAF and Hellraiser are in this battle, but Woody and John, they've had a bit of an issue. They've dropped off the back of the pack. Lewis and Corey Hack too. Corey Hack 5 seconds sitting off the back of the pack. Not great for the Red Mist car. But Geesh has well and truly checked out at this point. 1.6 seconds. Young Wakey sitting in P2, holding off from Atom for now. But how long until Atom decides to try and chuck a move down on the Kraken Esports car? As Captain Muffin gets past Morgan.
I was just watching a little battle here in P12 and 13 with Lewis and John, and that whole final chicane braking zone, through the chicane, up over the hill and onto the main straight. They were side by side. That was terrifying watching those two, but Lewis has managed to come out the victor in that little battle for now. But that was some phenomenal racing there, guys. Well done. Good to see.
As we'll have a look back on the Next Level Racing action replay to that turn 1, lap 1 race start. As we saw a lot, they were 3-4 wide at the back there, and GTR just a little bit of lag and a little bit of contact with Atom on the way through as they head over the rise. And yeah, I mean, a couple of people got shuffled out wide. There were definitely winners and losers in that race start. But as it stands for now, Muffin P5 holding out over Morgan Davey.
Atom has managed to close up onto the rear bumper of Young Wacky in front of him, so this could be very interesting as they're on the main straight now coming into turn 1.
Heels to
Does
the
he
inside.
go defensive?
No, Wakey didn't have the opportunity to, but Adam will slide on through. Wakey looking for the switchback, can't quite get that crossover to make that move stick, so Adam promotes himself up into P2 to make it at a sanction. No, not a sanction. I'm stuck in Season 6. It's a Respawn Esports 1-2, I should say. We're only, what, 9 rounds in?
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Speaking of which, we're, more than about 30% into the race. Should we have a tyre and fuel update, or is it not really desired during a sprint race?
I reckon in another minute or so. Give him another lap.
Roger that. Oh. Now, as we know, fuel is not really an issue during this race, so I might just skip that portion of it and we'll stick with tyres.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome idea.
They're all spread out quite a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many close battles, but nobody's really sticking a move on one another at the moment.
Maybe they're all just waiting for each other's tyres to start falling apart as... Oh, Lewis is a little bit wide at the exit of that final chicane and almost finds the grass.
Lewis is making ground. Wait, I mean, not really. He's in P12, but couple of positions for Lewis. He was P14 at the end of lap 2, which is horrendous as he went from P1 to P12. P14, it wasn't great for the Who Corp driver, but he's on a charge back and he's still got another half an hour of racing until the big points roll round. So how about that tyre and fuel update, Carbon Boy?
Just the fuel ignored with the tyres. G-Shan in P1. Yes, the tyre and tyre update. G-Shan in front on the racing softs, being the mandatory tyre for this race and the only tyre you can use, is currently sitting at about 55% worn on both the front and rear left-hand side. The right-hand side really isn't an issue on this track, so I'm just going to completely ignore their wear rates. Atom behind him is doing a little bit worse off on the front tyre. He's about 60%, but pretty much identical on the rear. Young Wakey behind him is a little bit worse off, maybe 65% worn on the front and the same again on the rear. GTR in the Sylvia is probably at about 60% worn on the front, but only about 15 to 20% on the rear, with that Sylvia, surprisingly, being very, very gentle on its rear tyres. Captain Muffin in the McLaren is doing quite well comparatively for tyre wear. He's at about 55% worn on the front and about 30% on the rear, despite working them very hard at the moment, as I can hear a huge amount of tyre squeal. Morgan Davey, who is right on his rear bumper in the 8.6s, Muffin runs wide, and I dare say he's going to pick up a penalty for that one. He is currently at about 70% worn on his front tyres as Muffin picks up his penalty, and is about 50% worn on his rears. So the 8.6, while it's good on its tyres generally, if you push it, it will hammer them just as badly as its bigger brother, the Supra. GK Turtle is currently sitting at about 65% wear on the front, about 50% on the rear. Ricky Bobby is doing reasonably well on the front tyres. He's only about 60% worn, but that rear left tyre is taking an absolute hammering with about 70% wear, which is not great as we're just past the halfway point.
Man chucks it down the inside of Ricky Bobby. Can he get it pulled up? Ricky Bobby's still got the nose in there. No, he doesn't. Loses the position to Blind Man.
Well, Blind Man might be making hay while the sun shines, because looking at his front left tyre, that is about 80%, maybe 85% worn. So in about another lap, he's in for a really bad time, and I dare say Ricky Bobby might just find his way back past because he does have the tyre advantage there. John is doing really well on his tyres, surprisingly. He's got about 70% wear, both front and rear. H.G. Lewis has done about 70% wear on his front left, but remarkably has only worn between 10 and 15% on that rear left tyre. He's being very gentle on it. FAF behind him is pretty much identical for tyre wear.
Oh,
Corey Hack
Woody's had an incident at turn 1. I saw the yellow flag from the marshal post and he was going very slow, potentially running wide the final corner.
He was carrying, I dare say so, because he was carrying front left wheel, front aero, and engine damage.
Potentially making a meet with those tyre barriers sticking out on the exit of the first turn, and he's fishtailing.
And to add insult to injury, his front left tyre is completely cooked, worn down to the belts. It is not great with 7.5 minutes to go. But as I was saying, just quickly, Corey Hack was doing surprisingly well on his tyres. He's only worn about 60% of that front tyre. Unfortunately, the rear tyres copped about 75-80% wear. So, rightio. And while I've been talking, Young Wakey, Adam seems to have had a bit of a problem as well, because Young Wakey and GTR have found their way past.
Oh dear. Tyre issue potentially?
Atom's last lap was a 125.1 compared to GDR's 124.3 and Wacky's 124.4. So he may have just had a little bit of a moment with his tyres not letting him take advantage of that Supra's true pace.
Anyways, thank you for the APR tyre and tyre update, Carbon Boy. as we're looking at GTR sitting on the podium still. I think it needs to be mentioned as well, if Geesh wins today, well, not this race, because the first race...
Sorry to interrupt, but we've got Captain Muffin making a move on Morgan Davies into the braking zone of the final chicane.
It looks like he's going to get that done. He's a whole car length in front by the time they get to that chicane.
Makes it stick, but as we've seen before, Morgan Davies will be having a conversation about this come turn 1.
As he does appeal to the inside there. And is he able to get it done? This is deja vu all over again. Morgan Davey chucks down the inside. Yellow flags. Who's gone?
Atom.
Ooh.
Atom
has
had a massive moment at T1.
Oh dear, and he's going to lose out again to Hellraiser, down to P7. That's massive, and he might even lose to John here. Very tight rejoin.
John did very well there to pull it up in time and not go careening into the rear of the Supra. But I feel it's a matter of time before he just finds his way past naturally. But he may have to fight with Blind Man for it. Because that Adam's little incident has checked him up enough where
contact with Blind Man on John. A little bit of tap on the rear right quarter of the Lightning Motorsports car. But John, he gets run out of road. And now he's going to lose those positions. 5 cars in a very short amount of time. One mistake or incident, and you've lost 2 or 3 positions. John down to 10th and even 11th. It is 11th. Oh dear.
As we've got the Morgan Davey Captain Muffin. Round 4 is going on with Morgan this time making his way, or holding his position at the chicane.
As we have this massive battle pack towards the back of the pack, we have 5 cars within a second of one another. This is huge racing. As John was at the front of this pack, and it's completely dropped off.
We've also got the Wakey GDR battle up front.
Absolutely, that's raging on, and I doubt that's the end of that one.
We are hard-pressed here in the comms box to know where to point the cameras and who to keep an eye on, because they've gone from being ultra spread out to closing up to each other, and I don't know about you, but I don't know where to look.
Yeah, these sprint rounds always throw up some great action, but I think we should point our cameras towards this 5-car battle pack for the scraps of the points. Oh my god. As Blind Man gets down the inside of Adam, but Adam has the slipstream of who is that? That's Lewis from P7. Only 2 of these guys are going to get points at the end of this, unless someone miraculously sets the fastest lap, lapping a second or 2 quicker than what they are at the moment. Oh my god, 2-3 wide, 2 by 2, and Lewis holds off on Adam. And oh, huge contact. Blind Man runs into the side of FAF there. As we see just behind Adam under pressure from FAF himself. And FAF is... Oh, Adam runs wide into the dirt. He's going to drop all the way down to P11. Disaster.
It is worth noting that we may see some carnage at the late stage of this race because, well... the only person on track who has any front tyre left is Ricky Bobby in P14 at the moment, who seems to have pulled my strategy and pitted for a fresh set of tyres, and I think he's going for the fastest lap.
I think that may be the case, sitting quite far down the order. No hope of points, so potentially looking at the fastest lap, and is he going to get it? Oh, out by a couple of tenths. He could do this. The tyres are still ramping up. He's going to have 2 more opportunities at it. Let's keep tabs on that. But for now, we're looking at this battle pack in the middle. Oh, just to note as well, GTR has made its way past Young Wakey for P2. And I don't think that's the end of the battle just yet. 3 tenths between them. But the major battle pack on track at the moment. It's still raging on. FAF moving his way through. Was P11 just 3 laps ago. Now P8.
Captain Morgan.
Oh,
Captain
Wakey.
Muffin.
Back
Morgan.
up into P2.
Oh, Muffin!
Oh.
He's wide. He's on the grass on the main straight. he's managed to hold it together, but he's lost a second and a half to Morgan, so I think that battle might be just done and dusted,
Blind man
unfortunately.
pressuring. Adam down the inside of both of them. John manages to hold off, but Adam gets one move out of it. But now Blind man up the hill, trying to get down the inside. He has his nose in. Adam has to give him space. No, he doesn't. He brakes late, gets the car turned in, shuts his nose.
And Adam knows he'll be able to see this. If he can just keep in front of Blind Man, he knows he'll be okay come this back straight, because Blind Man's currently holding a half-second penalty.
As I have a feeling, no. So some of these guys are going to get another lap. And one halfway through the pack, they're going to end. So for some of these guys, it's going to be the final lap. And it could be the final lap for GTR and Wakey. Let's see what it is. 20 seconds remaining. No, I think they're going to get around again. So that battle's going to keep raging on. Morgan might be the first of the finishers as he approaches the chicane.
For Morgan,
10 seconds
it will be
remaining.
tight.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get there. He might. This is very, very tight, actually. 6 seconds. I think he's only just going to make it. But the first of the finishers is going to be Muffin.
No, Morgan.
No, Morgan.
Oh, no.
No, Morgan got around. Hellraiser finishes 6th.
Morgan
Lewis, 7th.
Morgan did lift to try and get the race
John
to finish.
8th. Adam 9th. Blind Man 10th. No, FAF 10th. Blind Man 11th. Corey Hack will come home in 12th. Woody in 13th. One net position in race number 1. And Ricky Bobby, after going for the gamble on another set of tyres, I think he made a mistake the lap before. He's looking good for for fastest lap here, actually. Look at this. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, he's missed out. Never mind. But let's have a look back up the front. Jeesh. 7 seconds to the good, but it's not over between GTR and Wakey. 3 tenths between them. Wakey hunting for his first P2.
Oh, this will be an absolute cracker of a second race. I can feel it.
As Jeesh comes home in P1, beautifully done. We come to expect it, but GTR rounds
Wakey,
the final
he's got the
quarter.
run on him.
Oh, it's going to be tight. 1 tenth between them. Wakey comes home in P3, and it will be Morgan. Spectacular race for him, making up a multitude of positions. Comes home in P4. Great stuff from Morgan.
Whew. Wow.
I don't know where to look.
That was... I think chaos is too harsh of a word. I'm racking my brain trying to think of a... no, carnage is definitely not the... Well... no, carnage is definitely the wrong word. Bedlam. That's the word I'm looking for. That was bedlam.
Perfect word.
Bedlam. And no viewers, I don't have a thesaurus open in front of me. That was pure brain power, that one.
As we have a look on the next level race... Wait, what am I saying? Race results! Oh, I'm getting a bit tired. Maybe it should be the next level racing race results, eh? Maybe we should call it the next level racing results. How about that one? We'll put that one to the sponsors. As Jeesh comes home in P1 with the Gokanga fastest lap to his name as well, a 1:23.4. GTR will line up alongside him for race 2 on the front row. 7 seconds behind, only just edging out young Wakey here, who came home in P3. Morgan Davey takes P4 in the 86. The last of the finishers on the lead lap. Captain Muffin finishes P5, 1 lap down due to the complications with where the timer finishes. Unfortunately, Gran Turismo doesn't let us say that, oh yeah, if you haven't been overlapped, you just keep going along with the leader. But yeah, that's how it is in Gran Turismo. Hellraiser in P6, just behind Muffin. Lewis P7, John P8. Atom P9, FAF P10, Blindman 11th, Corey Hack 12th, Diswood 13th, and Ricky Bobby, after his fastest lap attempt, will come home in P14 there. So if that is what race 1 gives us, I am so excited for race number 2. I cannot wait for what is about to happen here. That was just spectacular to watch. So much action up and down the grid. I mean, yeah, that was crazy.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit nervous about this. I truly, if the first lap they can hold down clean, it's going to be on for young and old for all 20 minutes. I just truly hope that there's no chaos in lap 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It could happen, but we'll never know until it actually happens. But for now, we've just got so much action to look forward to. This is a magnificent combination that we've been given here tonight. Group 4 at Road Atlanta, the sprint format. I mean, this is some of the best racing we've seen all season in both categories.
Please just bear with me. I am just double checking my grid setup at the moment, as I do have to set it manually again. And I do not want to make any mistakes and put someone in the wrong position. I have made that mistake before in the past, and I feel really bad about it.
Yes, absolutely.
So we will have in P1, Geesh, P2, GTR, P3, Young Wakey, P4, Morgan Davey, P5, Captain Muffin, P6, GK Turtle, aka Hellraiser, P7, Lewis, P8, John, P9, Atom, P10, FAF, P11, Blindman, P12, Corey Hack. I've caught myself out. I don't think there would have been any complaints from Woody, but I had Corey Hack and Diswood around the wrong way. So P12, Corey Hack, P13, Diswood, P14, Ricky Bobby. All right, apply.
Now,
And
this is
I
the
will
pointy
just-
end of the drama. This is where the entire night comes to a crossroad. It's going to be phenomenal. If race 1 was anything to go by and the Division 3 race is anything to go by as well, we're in for a good next 20 minutes. As the big whatever colored button has been pressed. And my heart is pounding. I am so excited for what is about to happen.
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen.
Revs rising. Here they go. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights. And they're out and away we go. Geesh gets off to a good start, but an even better start from GTR. He might be able to jump him in the background. Positions being made by the Mercedes in the background, but these guys continuing on. Let's see what it is. Pretty calm. They're 3 wide going up to the second turn, though, as it looks like GTR gets the through on Geesh, potentially, as they head down towards the S's now. And it looks like
a bit of bumping and grinding going on down the back there, but so far, so good.
It looks like these guys are keeping it civil so far. As GTR gets it down the inside of Geesh into turn 6. And he's over the curb, huge contact, Geesh, oh my goodness. Now Wakey down the inside of GTR, and now Wakey looking for the win. Potentially P1 on the first lap.
You've got to be so opportunistic in this division. The margins for error are so small, and Young Wakey was on that like a flash. Well, here we go.
Late
3 wide
here.
of the braking zone.
Oh dear, this is not going to end well. GTR jumps Wakey, but holds on to it. But GTR is going to sweep around the outside of Wakey. Geesh has taken off. This is spectacular.
There was a little bit of a tap there from Lewis to the back end of Geesh just as they started turning into that corner, which put him ahead of GTR and Wakey. So Geesh might have a few thank yous to send across to the Hoon Corp team.
Oh my goodness, this is incredible. That was a first lap for the ages as Muffin runs wide. Gets overtaken by Blind Man. No, holds his position, holds his own. As these guys head through the S's, cutting that fine, GTR might end up with an invoice from the stewards. As they head down towards turn 6 for the second time here.
Oh, John has a look down the inside of Morgan Davey. No doing. But this is incredibly tight from GDR back to, well...
The back of the pack.
Well, back to John. And, well, yeah, there's not a lot in it.
5 seconds to be precise. That is not a lot. But Hellraiser has lost out massively here. He was up the top fighting with the lead, so just on the back pedal, and that's how brutal these Division 1 lobbies are. You just lose your footing, and then all of a sudden you're, oh, huge contact, Morgan Davey, and now John down the inside of Morgan. Oh, my Muffin through the inside of both of them as well. So both John and Muffin, oh, Muffin, he's had contact.
Muffin.
And, oh, into the wall. That's huge for Muffin. Oh, dear.
Oh, that has not gone well at all.
As John
no.
into P4 on debut. This is spectacular. As we'll have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay, just what happened to Muffin. He got it down the inside of both Morgan and who is that? Well, I'm not too sure, but I think I see what has happened there. I think it was Muffin. He just clipped that curb and he lost the rear end of the McLaren and eventually lost out. So not ideal for Muffin. But these guys still battling as John, Lewis, and Morgan in the background. They're going 3 wide. Adam's getting involved as well. Huge battles. Potentially 3 wide.
This makes me nervous. I'm very nervous right now.
Let's see what happens into the braking zone. Can they get it stopped? They all get it stopped. Lewis gets the best braking there. As Atom, just trying to find his way past Lewis. Struggled in the later stages of last race, but let's see how it plays out from here.
GTR currently holding the fastest lap with a 1:23.762, which is rather rapid.
Yeah, that's only 3/10 off what the max pace was last race.
Which is his last lap compared to, well, Geesh wasn't too far off that in his previous lap. He's done a 1:23.83 and is purple through that first sector. So he's not hanging around to get caught up by the guys behind him. He's on a mission for 2 consecutive P1s.
Absolutely. So I think let's have a look at the Next Level Racing action replay at what happened on lap number 1. At the race start, they were 3-4 wide in the background there. And yeah, everybody got through cleanly. Very mellow start, albeit 3-4 wide at the same time. They were 2 by 2 all the way down the pack. That was magnificent control by these guys and display of racecraft. So love to see it. And the race has settled down just a little bit here as they approach, as they're coming into the chicane on lap number 4. As we see, this racing is still as tight as ever. The top, I want to say 12, are all within earshot of the lead. And that's massive to say in a Division 1 race.
Just one thing I'm keeping an eye on is that I sense there is something brewing between P4, 5, and 6 with John, Lewis, and Atom. They're not quite on each other yet, but there is definitely something brewing for the later stages of this race. So I'll just keep my eye on that, I think.
So they head down towards turn 6 now. As things have started to settle down here, but these guys, they're still all single file, slipstream train. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle from Woody in the background there. But these guys remaining single file for the most part. So let's just see how this plays out towards the end of the race, as there will be some people struggling on those tyres. We saw Atom really struggling last race on his tyres.
Woody's got the run on FAF into the braking zone.
Oh, great move from Woody. Textbook stuff. Slots himself into the P9 position, as he has to defend very narrow. FAF. Oh, huge contact. Woody's gone. That's massive, into the wall. That might come with a steward's inquiry, unfortunately, for FAF. Very, very aggressive move, as we catch that one on the Next Level Racing action replay. As Woody got the move done. And yeah, he went very defensive. And then, oh yeah, I'm not too sure. That was definitely an ambitious move from FAF. Woody had it covered off.
Let's leave that to the stewards, though.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that.
But as it stands, Woody and Hellraiser. Oh, he's actually run up the back of his teammate there, Hellraiser. Unfortunately. Two Brocchio 5 sim racing cars sitting dead last.
Might be just wants to help his teammate along there, but I'm not sure Woody appreciated that too much, going right into the braking zone, as he carried a bit too much speed through that sweeping right-hander.
Rocky watching along at home, he won't be too happy with what he's been seeing tonight. Firstly, the mechanical failure of Shizer in the Div 3 race, and now the two Brocchio 5 sim racing top split drivers just struggling at the back of the pack after a series of unfortunate incidents. But that's racing, unfortunately, and it's not good to see, but it just happens sometimes.
I should note here as well, Morgan Davies found his way past Adam, putting himself into P6.
Making moves, the Dean's car. And approaching the halfway mark, I reckon it's time for an APR tyre and fuel update. What do you reckon, Carbon Boy?
One tyre and tyre update coming up.
One tyre and tyre update.
Back out in P1, as I'm just quietly getting a little tired of seeing it. Can we just let someone else win, please, Shish? He is looking pretty darn good for tyre wear this time around. He's about 40% worn on the front, maybe about 55% on the rear. GDR is about 50% on the front, maybe 15% on the rear. Just behind him, Wecky is about 50% on that front tyre, about 60% on the rear. John is fairly identical, as he has a Lewis in the Sylvia hot on his heels coming around onto the main straight. He's about 50% worn on that front tyre and only 10% on the rear, so he might just be able to make his way past John in the later stages of this race based on tyres alone. A little bit further back is Morgan Davies, about 50% worn on that front tyre, is about 40% on the rear. Just behind him, Atom is 50% on that front tyre, maybe 60% on the, on the rear tyre. Blind Man, just that little bit further back, is having a hard time with those front tyres in the Mercedes. He's about 80% worn on that front tyre and about 50% on the rear. FAF is about 50% on the front tyre, maybe 10-15% on the rear. Ricky Bobby is about 50% on the front and about 60% on the rear tyre. Corey Hack is doing remarkably well for tyre wear. He's only about 40% worn on that front left and about 50% on the rear. Captain Muvin's about 50% front and rear. Hellraiser, who has made his way past his teammate, is about 60% on the front tyre, about 50% on the rear. And Woody is about 80% worn on the front tyre and about 50% on the rear.
Thank you for that APR tyre and fuel update there, Carbon Boy. Don't know whether that was very coherent. I don't know, I sort of slurred at the end of that.
That's alright, I understood what you were saying.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody at home did as well, through a bit of confusion. But
yeah, young Young Wakey is not letting GTR go here. He's still hovering at about that 1 second mark.
As Young Wakey and GTR, they've sort of lost touch with Jeesh here. So Jeesh is actually broken away. He's 4 seconds ahead, and with 8 minutes remaining, I think it is worth mentioning that if he wins this race in 8 minutes' time, he will break Sector 1 history, being the first ever driver to take a whole 7 wins in a season. That being said, it is significantly easier when you have double the races, comparing to the feats that drivers like Brocky would have done back in the early stages of Sector 1. Of course, Brocky in Season 2 getting his 6-win total, 100% only ever clean sweep we have ever had in Sector 1 history. Jeesh, fortunately, doesn't qualify for that this season, as he's lost one race, which was the what's the name, Willow Springs sprint in the GT3s, which was won by Morgan Davey, and of course he sat out at Watkins Glen, so those most likely being his 2 drop rounds for the season, barring any other mishaps, but on track to take the elusive first ever 7th win in Sector 1 history in a single season.
Could I just direct your attention on track to P3 and P4? Been keeping an eye on John, who is slowly but surely taking a 10th here and a 10th there out of Young Wakey in front of him. And he is actually, barring commentator's curse, he's on track for a debut podium.
Very interesting stuff, considering he was quite far down the order at the start of this race.
And he's been keeping his nose clean, he's been staying out of trouble that's happened around him, and he's doing remarkably well. So definitely worth keeping an eye on this.
Things are spicing up for potentially a 3-way battle at the end of this race, as GTR runs wide on the exit of turn 11 and picks up a penalty. That's massive. At this stage of the race, 5 minutes remain, and GTR has a half-second penalty, which that gap from running wide has now dropped to just under 6 tenths. So GTR, he's going to drop to P4. Oh dear, this is huge. Speaking about maybe a 3-way battle at the end of the race, we're going to get a 3-way battle immediately. Holy moly.
Oh, the commentator's curse has struck, but it's not struck the driver that I was talking about at the time, so my apologies, GTR.
It has struck in the best of ways, and that is a 3-way. Wait.
Yeah, maybe don't go there. Don't finish that sentence.
It's past 9 o'clock. It's past 9 o'clock. We could get away with that stuff.
All right, go right ahead then. Finish that sentence.
As GTR serves his penalty, Wakey. Did Wakey have one too? No. It was just the camera angle. It looked like they both slowed down, but oh, John goes through on the move on Wakey. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. Into the podium places. No, Wakey holds his nose in there. Contact. And now GTR goes past both of them. And now Lewis is involved as well, and he started in P11.
We've got a 4-way. You could keep your 3-way. We've got a 4-way.
This is turning into something starting with an O. Here we go. Oh, there's somebody sliding in the background. That's Adam. Very similar to what happened last race, and he's off in the weeds.
Captain Morgan Davey back there has decided, nope, I'm going to make this a 5-way.
Oh, this is spicing up in the best of ways. Love a 5-way.
Oh, Wakey very sideways. That gives Morgan the run on him down the little straight there.
Wakey was staring at a race win, and now he's down in P6. All this battling is just making this race easier for Jeesh. He's cleared the pack by 7 seconds. But GTR, it's not over yet for him. 3 minutes remaining. We're going to get 4 more laps here. Maybe. I don't know. 3 or 4. maybe 3. I'm thinking it's
I'd
closer
say
to
3.
Yeah.
4's a bit ambitious.
Definitely. But yeah, this battle is far from over. 5-way battle for the podium. This is extreme Sector 1 sim racing action.
I think the battling with Wakey and Morgan might just diminish their chances of catching up with John, Lewis and GDR in front of them. Unless they start working together immediately.
That being said, the battling between these guys could draw them straight back in. As John hunting for a way past GTR. He's not looking for a podium. He's looking for a P2.
That's Lewis, just by the way.
Oh.
Sorry to correct you there, but GDR's up in P2. Lewis is in P3.
That's correct.
With John right on his rear bumper. I can see how you get the two confused.
Yeah, maybe because their cars are the same, but
Oh,
John
John's.
chucks it down the inside, opportunistic move, and he's gonna get it done on
Lewis. Get in there, Lewis.
Get in there, Lewis, as he is getting in there, as he's got the run on John. Looking at a move, potentially, as GTR has escaped for now. As
And I think
Lewis
he'll be breathing
shucks it down the inside, and Wakey in the background shucks it down the... No, he doesn't. Okay. As Lewis gets it down the inside of John. Can John hold? No, he can't.
GDR will be breathing a huge sigh of relief right about now. He's got 1.4 seconds breathing space with 1.5 minutes to go. So I dare say they'll see this lap and one more.
It'll be tight for these 4 as to whether they'll get that extra lap, depending on how much they fight. But John
Lewis.
down the inside of Lewis. Lewis runs out of road, but holds his position. This is magnificent. And now Morgan's
Here comes
in
Morgan.
there. Oh, a little bit of a tap from Morgan. And now a little tap back. It's getting squirrely. These guys, it's scraps off, gloves off. Morgan getting punched around like a boxing bag.
And
Oh
a penalty
my
just to
goodness.
rub salt into the wound.
This is going
Oh.
horribly for Morgan, staring at a podium potentially, and now he's staring at a penalty. That is some tough racing, hard racing. As there's going to be maybe one more lap. I don't think they're going to get the extra lap here because of just how much they've been fighting on this lap alone. As Wakey puts himself back up into P5. And he chucks it immediately down the outside of Lewis. Can't quite get that move done.
Geesh.
Looking for the switchback.
Geesh is going to get the look at me lap.
Is GTR going to get there?
GTR
Yes,
might
he is.
just...
But John's going to finish. John has finished. That's it. No, he goes around again.
No,
Lewis
no.
finishes. Wakey finishes. Morgan finishes. And then FAF rolls down the hill. Holding off from Blind Man P7, Blind Man P8, loses it on the final quarter. Ricky Bobby P8, Captain Muffin, Ricky Bobby P9, Captain Muffin P10, Corey Hack in 11th. Then there'll be Atom P12. Then the 2 Brocco 5 sim racing cars will complete the pack.
Now, while GDR is still out there and he's currently 3 seconds in front of John, there is a very rapidly flashing fuel light on board that Hooncorp Sylvia, so he's not out of danger just yet. If he runs out of fuel down this back straight, which he's already short shifting, he just wants to make it to the end as Geesh is coming into the braking zone for the final chicane. I'll keep an eye on GDR and his fuel woes.
As it's a podium lap. Only the top 3 made this final lap. And it's going to be Geesh in spectacular fashion. Breaks the record. The first ever 7 in a season. Geesh takes P1. As GTR comes over the crest for the final time. And he will take P2. It's all but done now. John's hopes of a P2 on debut in vain. He's going to have to settle for a P3. Spectacular stuff from the debutant at Lightning Motorsport. Wowee. Holy moly. Where do you even
Wow.
start with a race like that?
Well, I think a few of them might be starting in the steward's office come tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I agree.
I'm not going to make any accusations or any judgments. All we can do is commentate on what we see, and we'll leave the rest to the powers that be. But wow, that was an action-packed 20 minutes.
Absolutely. Can say that again. But here is how they line up at the conclusion of that one. Jeesh will take P1, breaks the record, takes the 7th win in a single season. GTR furthers his podium tally, furthering his record of, I believe it's now up to 31 podiums, which is just mind-boggling. GTR is a force to be reckoned with. But John, on debut, back in Sector 1, racing for Lightning Motorsport, takes a podium on debut. That is just spectacular. I mean, it has to be said. Brilliant stuff from him. Lewis in P4 there. First of the finishers, 1 lap down. Wakey, P5. He was staring at a race win on lap 1. Couldn't quite get the move done on Jeesh. And, I mean, got caught up in that 5-way battle for the podium at the end of that. And just dropped pretty much to the back of it. Barring, or midway through it, I should say. As Morgan and FAF were just behind him. Oh my, that was just spectacular racing action. You love to see it. And just behind FAF was Blind Man in P8. The back half looks like this. Ricky Bobby P9, Captain Muffin P10, Corey Hack in 11th, Atom 12th, and the two Brocky 5 Sim Racing cars come home in P13 and 14. Woody leading Hellraiser. So, I mean, I barely have a voice left after that one. You can probably hear my voice sounding a bit scratchy. Wow. I don't know. I'm feeling the same as the Div 3 race. I don't know who to give the driver of the day to. There's so many nominations in the chat at the moment as well.
For me, it's real easy. I'm giving my nomination to John. P3 on debut. There was a little bit of chaos going on around him. Managed to keep his head clean, or head clear. Just got on with it. Had some really good battles in the later stages of the race to climb his way up the order. So, combined with a podium in his first ever round of Sector 1, yeah, it's got my nod for driver of the day.
And from what I'm reading, looks like it's pretty much unanimous being John from a lot of people. So I think it's a huge congratulations to John. Everybody rates that drive. I mean, I think I'm just going to have to go John here. So many driver of the day nominations to John. One from Karen, one from Bumcrack, Stickers, Killer. I think that's Mountain Goat there, Ryan Tame. We got Debrev giving it to John. Turtles giving his to John. Dadson's giving his to John. Womble to Womble. But I think if Womble had to give to actually someone, I think he would give it to John. But wow, that's just, yeah. I mean, gotta give it to John. Magnificent stuff. Podium on debut, Lightning Motorsport on the podium once again. It's been a while since Lightning Motorsport podium, but we're here now, and it's happened. So, wow. What a night of racing we just had. Div 3. Yeah, Div 3 absolutely, like, showing up and playing into our expectations. And then Div 1 just blow the roof off with a magnificent battle. Up and down the field.
I'm not biased at all, but us boys in Div 3, we turn it on every week. I like to think we the most consistent action-packed division in Sector 1.
Well, I'm pretty open with my opinion, saying that Div 3 is my favorite division to watch.
I will die on that hill. So, all the guys in Div 3, let's keep it up. Don't prove me wrong. Thank you very much.
So, huge congratulations to our top 3 at the end of that one. Jeesh taking, I think that's a max points round. But yeah, he's taken
pole
every
position,
point possible.
2 race wins, 2 fastest laps. Yeah, look.
So what's that? Is that
Jeesh,
a
if you
super?
could just...
Oh, all laps led as well. Is that a super grand slam? Super mega ultra grand slam.
Didn't somebody just manage to sneak the nose in front briefly in that second race?
No, lap 1, Sheesh didn't get the jump at the start, but he then... Oh no, actually, wait. I don't know. It's pretty close to an ultra mega complete.
It's a round clean sweep.
It's a pretty damn good job, is what I reckon it is.
Max points round. We'll go with that.
Max points round. I mean, that was just crazy from Jeesh. How has he done that? Just so dominant.
He is speed.
He is speed. He is speed. So, thank you, everybody.
I'd like to say thank you to... You do it. You do it.
Okay.
Oh.
Why don't we say it together?
Oh, there'll be a jumbled mess. You can do the honors.
Thank you to everybody for showing up tonight, supporting the stream. I think we peaked at like 45, 50 viewers, which is just magnificent to see this late on in the season. And the racing action, it's at an all-time high. I don't think we've seen this much action since the early days. So, love to see it. These sprint rounds offer up a unique spectacle that we love to see. So, can't wait till the next one, which I believe should be next season. We're looking at a couple there, maybe, potentially. But for now, that ends the sprint round and enduro rounds for Season 7. So we're just going to have a bunch of, or 3 normal length events after this, just using the medium and soft tyre for those. And stay with us for next week, because next week we have, of course, our Group B action. And if you like the action this week, Group B just tosses it all on its head and says, this is how it's done. So looking forward to the Group B event next week, as that's going to be an absolute ripper as well. They play for sheep sections in Div 4 and Div 2. So looking forward to that. And also next Thursday, if you want to get involved in the action yourself, we have our community series next Thursday. The exact same format, but in GT3 cars. We're in the Genesis again, the Genesis community cars here at Road Atlanta once again. So looking forward to that as always. Going to be a lot of fun here. And lastly, huge thanks to Carbon Boy and CGK for race directing and being here with me, joining me in the comms box tonight. It's great to have you guys here. I think CGK is a little far gone, but Carbon Boy's here to take the praise.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure as always working with you and CGK. And that's going to be me for the night, because I am absolutely exhausted. It has been a hectic last couple of days for myself, and I am looking forward to getting some sleep. So to anyone still watching, I highly recommend getting some sleep yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a couple of people out there will be immediately changing their TVs across to F1, as I believe that is starting pretty soon. 11 o'clock, if I remember correctly, as the start times. Oh, so maybe a little bit. Pre-show would be going by now. But yeah, thanks everybody showing up. Thanks to Carbon Boy and CGK. And yeah, without everybody here, we couldn't be able to put on a show. And we have put on a show tonight. And what a show it was. But we're going to call that here. That's Lenocis, Carbon Boy, and CGK signing off here for Group A, Round 9 here of Season 7, the Sector 1 World Tour at Road Atlanta. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch you all next Thursday. Bye-bye.